Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon. Joined as always by my wildly handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo. Our friend Coop with us, aka Coop A. Fiasco.
Oh,
Good
morning,
hey.
Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show, aka Coop and the Hogs, here on the Bettor Sports Network. What up, Coop?
What up, dog? No Simon this morning. Throw the show sheet out the window.
Hog.
Throw it out the window.
Out the window. Out the window. Simon, he is gone.
Gone.
Where's Simon? What's Simon doing, Coop?
Well, he actually had to go. He's been watching so much Nacho Libre as of late that I'm afraid that he might actually start thinking that he is in fact a luchador himself.
You think he's getting Jack Blacked right now?
He might be getting a little jacked up and blacked up. I got a text from Leanne yesterday that
she texted you.
Yeah, she said that she couldn't stop Simon from climbing up on the top of the couch and jumping off and elbow dropping her.
I'm usually the one she texts about Simon jumping off the couch, elbow dropping.
Well, she said that she thought you might be a little too concerned, so she wanted to check with me first before she went.
That's
to
fair.
You.
That's fair. Right into the Coop filter.
Right. See if it was something that would be alarming, and I asked her a series of questions, and pretty much everyone leads me to think that he's got a little Jack Black poisoning from Nacho Libre.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who would have known? Who would have known?
It's honestly, it's a more serious problem than people think.
Yeah. It affects a lot of men.
It does. It really does. I mean, who amongst us hasn't had their bouts of luchadorism?
I don't know. You got a little something in your beard there, Coop. Was it a little breakfast, maybe?
Where's it?
Right there. You see it right next to your. Yeah, there you go.
Can't have that, dude.
So,
I don't want to alarm anyone out there watching or listening, but I ran out of milk today.
Oh no.
So no chocolate milk. As you can see,
you didn't want to alarm us.
As you can see, completely disheveled over here on my side.
Absolute chaos.
Just don't know what's going on over here. I'm drinking Gatorade. It's like 7 in the morning. Yeah.
Yellow Gatorade.
I'm lost, man. I'm
Lemon
lost.
lime?
Dude. Not wearing pants. Yeah.
Lemon lime wire?
Yeah, getting limed up, dude. Getting limed up and out.
Is that your favorite Gatorade flavor?
No, it's not even my favorite Gatorade flavor. Blue is my favorite flavor.
Blue, of course. It's everyone's favorite flavor.
Very controversial.
Everyone's favorite flavor.
Yeah. What's your favorite Gatorade flavor?
Oh, blue. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Fact.
We got some people in the chat. We got Tommy in here with a nice little poem. And this is a tight end one, Coop, so I think this one's for you.
Ooh. Tommy says, in need of a tight end, the Rangers pillaged and scoured the free agent waters, and they signed AJ Howard. Now the Raiders offseason has been a bit topsy-turvy, but now we got us some OJ and can avoid getting scurvy. Texas has lost Howard, but they added some schmaltz with the addition of Singletary and Dalton Schultz. Damian Harris to the Bills, and the Cardinals signed a rascal with a speed receiver from the Eagles. Zach Pascal. The Jets waiting as other teams get fat. Go get another quarterback. Get maybe a Stafford named Matt. Not bad.
Absolutely nailed that one.
Sorry, I butchered that one. The cadence on that one is a little more difficult than typical.
Tommy's hitting us with
am I not wrong on that?
Unconventional rhyming meters.
Tommy's just going to slam poetry. Was that
that was beautiful.
Iambic. What's the one that Shakespeare does?
Iambic
pentameter. Is that what you're hitting us with now?
Iambic pentameter. Yeah. That is a meter. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Strong one.
We got Craig in the chat said, "Morning, friends. Will today be a better day than yesterday?" Quote around better.
Ooh, I think it is. It's always yeah. It's always a better day when you're on the Bettor Sports app smashing that fun button with your buddies, ain't it?
Facts. Facts. We got Maria in here said, I wish everyone could hear and enjoy JL running and stomping to his office before the show. Not wearing pants, and yet you are all supposed to show your socks today. Oh boy.
Ooh, that's gonna be well. I did remember to wear my socks, so
That's
at least
good.
I got that.
Hopefully you
Yeah.
can show us your socks without showing us your no pants.
We'll have to see.
I also read this as one thing where I wish everyone could hear and enjoy JL running and stomping to his office before the show, not wearing pants.
Are you wearing pants?
I'm wearing shorts. That counts.
Nice.
Not really a pants in the morning kind of guy. I'm more of a pants in the evening kind of guy. You know what I mean?
I feel that. Yeah, you gotta earn those pants with a hard.
Gotta earn those pants.
Hard days.
Earn those pants. Yeah, can't be lazy. Can't rest on my laurels. I don't know what that means.
What are laurels? I always hear that, but
I don't know.
I've never known.
Why are we resting on them?
I mean, not till you're in the pants.
Not till you're in the pants. We got Victor in the chat said, Buenos dias, neighborinos. Smash that like button.
Ooh.
So kind, Victor.
Buenos dias,
morning. Welcome
Victor.
in. Welcome in. Well, it is that time. Coop, I brought some breakfast. Hopefully we brought some news.
Yeah, you brought an undercooked bagel, right?
Undercooked. I had to. I was running late. And Keith was yelling at me the whole time.
Keith was kind of mean this morning.
He's like, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So I had to hit cancel on the toaster. I didn't even know there was a cancel button. Now I have a mid-cooked toaster.
Now you're just
mid-cooked bagel.
Now you're eating bread instead of toast.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. If I start making a face in the middle of the show, you know why.
Yeah, no, Simon. You're eating bread. I'm drinking Gatorade. Like, I don't know how we're gonna make it. I don't know how we're gonna make it through. I read Tommy's poem like I'm fully dyslexic. In fact, there's no doubt in my mind that any dyslexic person would have done a much better job on that. So
you nailed it.
Yeah, we're off to a rough start here. But the good news is that we have some football news to bring us back to earth with. One thing, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I've been calling it for maybe a week and a half now, maybe longer. Devin Singletary. Well, actually, no, I didn't call that one. I called Damian Harris to the Bills, though. That's the one that I was on. And I think it's a great fit. They have James Cook on pass downs. They have Josh Allen to smash the ball into the end zone if need be from the 5-yard line. They just needed somebody who was, productive between the 20s and can get you that first down when you need it. Damian Harris, perfect guy. What do you think about the fit?
This is a much better move by the Bills than them going out and overpaying like a Saquon, which I know a lot of people wanted from the fun. I get it too. That would have been awesome. Saquon Barkley and the Bills. Are you kidding me? We've all played NFL Blitz. We love it.
Right.
But it's probably a smarter move to go get a Damian Harris for the Bills. I think he's a great fit for them.
Yeah, you don't need to, and that's the thing is that in this league, you need to balance the salary cap, right? You need to, like, if you don't have a good quarterback, then you need to spend up elsewhere. If you have a good quarterback, the Patriots did it for a long time where they just kind of leaned on Tom Brady, spent a lot of money on defense, spent a lot of money on the run game, drafted high running backs because you could get by with Wes Welkers and Julian Edelmans when you have a Tom Brady. This team has Josh Allen, who not only can throw at least, similar to a Tom Brady level, I'd say, but he can also run at a high level. So you don't really need to go crazy getting that elite back if you have a guy like that. Same thing with the Eagles. I like what they did with Rashad Penny. They can piece it together because they have Jalen Hurts running for like 800, 900 yards. So I like it for the Bills. The Bills are once again going to be right there as a contender. What teams, if you're going to bet the family farm on teams to win the Super Bowl, how many teams would you put ahead of the Buffalo Bills, do you think?
Chiefs.
Yeah, you have to.
That's probably it.
Honestly.
Bengals are in there.
Bengals are in the discussion. I can't find myself putting the 49ers there.
No, I was thinking that I just going through the same thought process in my head, Coop, of like 49ers, and I'm like, no. I don't know why.
If they had
a QB situation,
I think it is. If they had Purdy and he was healthy and they committed to him, it'd be easier. But not only is he not going to be ready to go with the elbow, but they haven't even committed to him as a starter when he gets back. So we don't even know what's going to go on there. It's the most important position.
Nor should they not.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think they should. I think they should stick with Trey Lance.
Yeah. I mean, the upside is so much higher with Lance. Like, if Lance is the guy that they drafted him to be, that team is going to be real good.
And what is Purdy going to do? Like, hold out because he's not the starter? The guy was Mr. Irrelevant until this middle of this last year. So I think go with expectations there.
Yeah. Yeah. What I want to see with the getting back to the topic at hand, the Damian Harris deal, I want to see how much it's for. Because I haven't gotten info on that yet. If he got less money than what James Robinson got, then I'll be a little disappointed. Oh, great. I guess it's just the Coop Show now, baby. Let's go. Oh, damn it. I was literally immediately going to just start ranting about tight ends. It was I had my glasses on. I was like, here's yin and yang tight ends.
At least you can sit there and rant about tight ends. If you dropped out, what the heck would I talk about? We'd be getting into some business 101.
I'm pretty sure the backup plan for
science 102.
The backup plan for everybody is tight ends. That's
tight end. It's always tight end.
Yeah, that's the break glass in case of emergency. Though, yeah. So with Damian Harris deal, I'm personally hoping that he got more money than James Robinson, because as a Patriots fan, I don't even know. I personally think that Damian Harris is better than James Robinson. So wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to me to pay James Robinson drastically more than you're paying Damian Harris, unless all these teams are just swapping running backs so they can steal all the secrets from their rival teams, right? Like the Patriots just going for the Jets running back, the Bills going for the Patriots running back.
You think that's what they're doing?
I don't know. Maybe.
Could
be. It could be. Though I have heard quotes from people saying that like everybody runs the same plays and everybody kind of knows what everyone does anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But maybe there's some Robert Saleh secrets they're trying to.
Ooh, the Saleh secrets.
The Saleh secrets. If they were secrets, Belichick's had coaches. Half the coaches in the league like coached under Belichick at some point. So if they're secrets, they're probably out.
True. Maria said someone has to stand up for Keith. No, they don't.
Not really.
And Hal said, "Damn it, I need a tight end rant." And then he said, "I'd call in JL."
If you need a tight, yeah, Hal would have bailed this out, dude.
Yeah, Hal's got us.
Maybe that guy in the YouTube chat would call him. What's his name? Simon Greenfield?
Simon Grunbelds?
Simon Groening Folds?
Simon Rooney Poos?
Simon Grouchy Velvet?
Nailed it.
All right, there we go.
Snivell Rivendell?
Yeah. Hal, if you're looking for a tight end rant, I just did a show with a friend of the show, Laquan Jones. LQ
The God.
Real Deal Fantasy. Yeah, the God. He's doing this new series called The Process. It's a mini series on his channel where he's having somebody come in that specializes in each position. So he had me in for tight end. I don't know what he's doing at wide receiver, quarterback, running back. I imagine he'll probably have Linda or somebody do the kickers, right? So he's just having experts come in and really break down each position. We did that yesterday. It's now up on YouTube. Either go to Real Deal Fantasy or go over to at Real Deal Fantasy on Twitter and check that out if you want a tight end rant, and check it out after the show. Okay, let's not. First things
LQ
first.
is the man. LQ is easily one of my closest friends in this space.
He's a legend, dude.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
I'd do anything for that dude.
Right. He's got the smile of an angel.
Oh, he's got a smile for TV.
I know.
That's for damn sure.
He just did. He asked me if I wanted to come on. I said no. Then he smiled, and I was like, all right.
All right.
And then I got on, and he goes, all right, give me all your secrets. And I was like, what? I'm not going to give up all my secrets for free. And he just was like, come on. And I was like, all right. And then I gave up
how he got solid secrets.
That's how you get the solid secrets.
That's how you get the solid secrets.
You got all my solid secrets, dude. And now, honestly, you don't even really need me anymore.
Craig says, nope, I'm leaving now to go watch it.
Get out of there, dude. I'll also log into YouTube. Get out of there. Or I'm having him take it down.
Take it down to the end of the show.
Yeah. And then we'll put it back up. Now, stay out of there. Yeah. So, Damian Harris to the Bills. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of tight end news, we got some tight end news yesterday.
going
I think this was
on.
after the show, if I'm not mistaken, right? We didn't talk about it yesterday. It was Dalton Schultz, tight end. Tommy talked about it a little bit in his poem.
Yes.
Going to the side of the Texans for a 1-year deal up to $9 million. Now, my initial thought when seeing this news scoop was, why pay someone a 1-year deal as a tight end if you're the Texans?
Yeah, that
And
is.
I thought maybe there could be some reasoning behind that when I started really thinking it through, but I wanted to get your opinion on it. Is there actual reasoning to support this type of move? Because typically I would view a 1-year deal as something from like a year deal, or a team that want a 1-year deal, but like a full rebuild team, I haven't quite seen that. What do you think?
So I've seen it with like the prime example for a rebuild team doing this with guys was the 2019 Miami Dolphins. They were if you guys remember, it was the Tank for Tua campaign, right? That's what everyone was calling it. And
That was a good year.
yeah, and basically what they were doing is during the entire season they were doing live tryouts. And if you go back and look at the snap counts, it is amazing to see how they did it. Like it was like they would put Preston Williams out there for 2 games. He would play well, and they'd be like, "All right, we like you. You're a part of this team for the future." And then they would put Mac Hollins out there, and he would play 94% of the snaps. And they say, "Okay, we like you." And then they would put Isaiah Ford out there, and Isaiah Ford would play 90% of the snaps. And then the next game, they would literally release Isaiah Ford, and they would be like, you're not part of this team." So sometimes, and you look at what they did last year. They Mike McDaniel comes in, brand new organization. They franchise tag Mike Gesicki, see if he's going to be part of the team. He doesn't fit in, only plays 35% of the snaps. They signed Cedric Wilson. He doesn't really fit in. They signed Chase Edmonds. He doesn't fit in. They cut these guys. They're not going to be part of the team. So if you're the Texans right now, a new organization, bring in as many guys on like 1-year deals as you can, see if they're going to be a good fit for the future. And if they're not, smell you later. Right. So I kind of like the idea of these, like, don't because the worst thing you could do is sign the guy to a 4-year deal and then find out.
Yeah, that was it. That was kind of my thought process through it. Was like, well, I guess you wouldn't necessarily sign them to a long-term deal either. And then I was like, maybe there is reasoning to support this thought process. So you kind of we went down the same exact path I did as I was
to get there. Yeah, because like the worst thing you want to do is what the Browns did with Austin Hooper, which is Austin Hooper had a massive year in 2019 with the Falcons. Turns out the Falcons just threw 50 more passes than any other team during that season. So the Browns signed him to this big deal, and it's a 3-year deal. And that entire process, all it does for you is make you realize that you already had the tight end you needed in David Njoku the whole time.
Right.
So if they signed him to a 1-year deal, it would have been a lot easier to get that information.
Right.
Also, Austin Hooper is a great example because the best comparable player for Dalton Schultz on Player Profiler is Austin Hooper. Yeah,
there you go.
When you look at the metrics, like the speed,
same exact guy,
same person. That's how people work.
That's how people work.
It's just
the Moreau,
it's just the same dude. Yeah. But it's like you're getting the same type player, at least with in terms of athleticism, production, the whole 9 yards. So we'll see. The thing with that landing spot, at first I was like, but then the more I think about it, the target competition is what? Nico Collins, Robert Woods, Schultz could be a top 2 target on that team. He could be in the mix for a lot of targets. What do you think?
Yeah, I could see it. It's just going to depend what they do with that O-line and quarterback position. It's really going to depend on what the outlook for Schultz is. If they don't fix that, either of those 2 things, Schultz upside becomes very diminished.
Yes, especially the O-line, because the classic Band-Aid for if your tackles are struggling, either your left or right tackle, is just keep the tight end into block, right? So you're now officially rooting for them to juice up that O-line.
Right. And we got Hal in here saying, who is the OC in Houston? It's Bobby Slowick.
Bobby. Hey, Bobo.
Bobby.
Yeah. So I don't know too much about Bobby Slowick, besides the fact that he was in San Francisco at the same time as D'Amico Ryans. Do you know anything about that guy, really?
I do not.
I don't even know if we should probably look into that, see what his deal is. But if he runs that 49ers offense, I mean, it's been not only great, but it's been great for fantasy football. You look at what they do is they basically use a fullback and extra tight ends, which really consolidates the targets among the guys that are on the field. Like, look at the 49ers. It's Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, and then they use Kyle Juszczyk for like 40 to 50% of the snaps, sometimes more, and he's not soaking up targets. And they bring up backup tight ends, and they're not soaking up targets. So the top 3 dogs get a bunch of looks. If you look at the Dolphins last year, because they used Durham Smythe instead of Mike Gesicki, the targets were literally just consolidated among their Debo and Ayuk, what happened to be Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So it's actually great for fantasy football. So if the Texans are going to do that, then the targets could be highly consolidated among Schultz, Nico, and Robert Woods, which would be very cool.
Yeah. Hallen here asking if Houston still has 4 tight ends besides Schultz. I don't know if they have released some of them. They had Brevin Jordan last year, Jordan Akins.
Yeah, OJ Howard's gone. OJ Howard he signed with the Raiders.
Raiders yesterday, right?
Yeah, but
there's another sign.
Yeah, they still have Brevin Jordan and Tegan Quitoriano, and then I think they had another guy, but like Shrek Mason or something like that. But no, they signed a lot of those guys like Jordan Akins to short-term deals. And last year they were doing live tryouts at tight end. They bring in OJ Howard, like they added I'm pretty sure they cut Jordan Akins and then brought him back mid-season. Like they were just kind of jumping around all over the place at tight end, trying to figure that out.
Yeah, they were doing that in a lot of positions.
Yeah, but I do know they brought in a fullback as well. They brought in Andrew Beck from the Broncos, so we could see another team doing that little fullback game. I like to see that in fantasy. It's good for everybody else. The more guys on the field that aren't getting targets, the more targets there are for everybody else.
Craig saying Akins is gone too.
Yeah, Akins is gone. I don't know if Akins signed anywhere, Craig. Let us know if he did, but who cares?
Who cares? We got NKC in the chat. Say good morning. Good morning, my friend.
NKC, what up, dog?
What up?
We had a signing. So we talked about Damian Harris to the Bills. The Bills' former running back found a new home as well. Signed over with the Texans. Are you worried for Mr. Damian Pierce at all, JL?
Yes, but that hasn't changed just because of this news. I was worried before Singletary signed there. The issue with Damian Pierce is draft capital, of course.
Yeah,
and so he, as a running back with low draft capital, I'm definitely concerned with his staying power. His fantasy value is flimsy, and this is not going to help. This is going to add speculation leading up to the season. This is going to drive Damian Pierce's ADP down.
Yep. And you got to remember that Devin Singletary last year was top 5 in the league in routes run for a running back, and he graded out really well in pass blocking per Pro Football Focus. So it seems pretty clear to me what type of role he'll have with this offense. Damian Pierce is still going to be the hard-hitting, bruising starting back, but I think Singletary is going to slot in on pass downs. And even though it's a 1-year deal, if they like having that other guy, that just means they're going to go out and get the next guy. So we'll have to see what Damian Pierce does here, but I need him to continue catching passes for me to be super interested in fantasy.
Where are you going to be comfortable drafting him going into next season?
I'm probably not going to draft him.
Probably not going to.
They're just in the
He's there in like the 11th round. Is that interesting?
I guess I will.
At some point, you're going to draft him.
We have to think about this in terms of the average fantasy gamer versus what we do, JL. Like you and me are going to draft 100 best ball teams. So
I can't play best ball.
You can't at all?
Not for money.
They still don't have that in Baltimore? How are they?
It's not a Baltimore thing. It's a work thing.
Oh, because
I work with prospects. Yeah.
Oh, that's like, well, I'm going to draft 1,000 best ball teams on your.
I'm going to do 1,000 mock drafts. That's for sure.
In your honor, I will do them. But the thing is, for the average fantasy gamer, you play like maybe 1 to 3 real leagues, and with all the running back by committees there are in the NFL these days, there's like 100 running backs to pick from. So I don't have to pick Damian Harris. I don't have to pick Devin Singletary either. And, until I see where his ADP shakes out, I'm probably not going to draft him. And what happens in like Underdog is it's 2-day rolling 2-day rolling adjustments. So they adjust like every couple days. So his ADP is going to be too high. He's going to be going too high for the next 2 weeks at the very least until he adjusts down. So I just can't draft him. So I'm out for now. Singletary I'm in on.
Singletary, yeah. I think Singletary could potentially be a value. I'm with you, dude.
I know, dude. Because he catches passes. We know mathematically Andrew Barrett did the math. Even in full PPR, we're talking a reception is worth 2.74 times as much as a carry. And even in standard, 1.4 times as much. We say it often because it's mathematically proven. So go out, get those targets, baby. Let's go. Give me some Singletary.
Do you mean Scott Barrett? Is that you're talking about? The Rotoviz?
There is a Scott Barrett and there is an Andrew Barrett.
Andrew Barrett.
I think that article might have been written by Scott Barrett. I think you're right that one was Scott Barrett.
So no, that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah. Yes, it was Scott Barrett. So that is that one. But Andrew Barrett is over with. He has his own NFL fantasy site. I follow him too. Good follow.
Nice.
Both of them. Follow Andrew Barrett and
All the
follow
Barretts.
Scott Barrett. Yeah.
All the
legends.
Barretts out there. Yeah. Big fans of the Barretts here.
Huge.
Did you see Cam Newton? Speaking of Barretts, did you see Cam Newton announce that he'll be throwing at Auburn's pro day? And quote, he said, quote, "Ain't 32 better than me."
Ah, there he is, dude. So he's talking about he's going to try out to play for Auburn again.
I don't think it's...
Go back and get that degree. Did he
go back and just run the NCAA?
That'd be sick, dude.
That would be so funny.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
They hadn't accounted for that in the rules. It's like they never thought to add in a rule that would stop Cam Newton from going back.
Just a loophole. He goes back to do like swimming or a different sport.
It's the beginning of like a Disney Channel movie.
The thing with Cam Newton is that at this stage of his career, he should be saying 64 instead of 32. I think that's a little more reasonable.
Yeah. No disrespect to Cam Newton, but I think there probably are 32 better than you.
But are there 64 quarterbacks that are better?
I mean, 49ers have Brock Purdy and Trey Lance.
It's okay.
That's a whole lot of talent.
Yeah,
That's a whole lot of talent.
That's true. All right. Okay. Well, now, and here's the argument for the backup quarterback argument. And we got into this with Colin Kaepernick, right? Like Colin Kaepernick is obviously a touchy subject because there's a lot more surrounding it. But you run into a problem with the backup quarterback where most teams have their quarterback already. So you want the backup to be a guy that can, like, stepping in when the starter is hurt is only part of the job. The rest of the job is running the scout team and trying to mimic other teams' offenses and giving your defense a good look. It's, watching film and watching on the iPad or, the Surface Pro live during the game and trying to be a coach on the field as part of that team, like to do those type things. And another huge part of it is not being a distraction, right? And like the last thing you want on a lot of these teams is to have a name that the fans can chant if your starter is struggling, right? So in a lot of situations, Cam Newton is not the right answer. Like if you have Joe Burrow as your starter, you don't want to pay Cam Newton to be the backup, right? Like Cam Newton belongs in a situation where he can compete to be the starter. Pete Carroll said as much with Colin Kaepernick. He was like, we had him in for a tryout, but he's not a backup for Russell Wilson. He should be a starter in this league. Like that was his response on that. And it makes a lot of sense. Like if you're going to have very unique players like Cam Newton, sure, he could mimic Josh Allen, but is he going to do a good job of, showing you what a Justin Herbert led offense looks like? So I'm not sure there's a lot of teams that are in the market. The market for players like that are going to want to compete to start, and they're going to be very loud about it, it's a lot smaller than people think.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. If I was going to handpick a spot for him to go, it would be the Arizona Cardinals, because Kyler Murray is going to miss the start of the season. So you can put him out there and start him.
Is that for sure?
I mean, that's what, well, actually, no, it's not for sure, because, it's too early, right? It's March. There's 6 more months until the season starts, or at least 5 months until the season starts. So we don't know for sure, but that's what all the rumors are. The rumors are that he's probably going to start. He's going to miss a start. But I mean, that's the best opportunity for him to get on the field. Unless, I don't know, what are some other spots? Do you really want to have your rookie, like if you're the Texans who already signed somebody anyway, do you want to have your rookie quarterback have to come in and deal with a guy like Cam Newton that thinks he should start?
It's hard for me to know because I don't know Cam Newton personally, and I don't know what he's like as like a mentor, or like if he's helpful to younger players coming up, or if he's just going to come in and be really all about being the starter. I'll give him the chance and say like I would be open to that, but it would really depend on what his mindset was going into it. If he wants to be the starter for the team and he believes that, I respect that. If I'm bringing him in to be a backup, I'm not going to do that if he expects to be a starter.
Right. And that's the thing that you run into with like a rookie QB is like, what if he just takes the competition so seriously that he's not helping this other guy, this young player at all, and just because we've heard stories of that happening.
I respect that though. I don't think it's necessarily his obligation to help. I think it's a nice thing to help, but also like, he doesn't have to. It's his money we're talking about. It's his business, right? Like he doesn't have to go, and like he wants to give himself the best chance to make the most money, which I respect.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't. We've seen it work out too. Like Brett Favre wouldn't help Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers turned out just fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got open 24 hours in here. It says Adam Thielen said the Panthers are going to the Super Bowl with Andy Dalton. I need his dealer. What do you think about that, JL? He reportedly told he mentioned that he spoke with multiple teams, including the Cowboys, which is hilarious shade because people love to jump on anytime they can make fun of the Cowboys, they jump on. He said that he spoke with the Cowboys and a couple other teams, decided the Panthers give him the best shot of winning a Super Bowl. How do you feel about it, JL?
I don't know how he could be talking about anything other than hype. Right? Like, no, I don't think this team is Super Bowl ready. I think any team could potentially make a Super Bowl run, but come on, Thielen. You know better than that.
He said, so this is from Ari Myroff, who is a pretty reliable source, said that the teams he named, apparently he went on the Pat McAfee show and said it. He said he talked to the Cowboys and the Broncos, then said he strongly believes that Carolina Panthers could win the Super Bowl given the best chance. Whew.
Dang. Thielen said that, right?
Thielen said that, yeah.
He's hyped, right? He's just trying to hype up the fan base. He's excited for his new spot.
Maybe. Open 24 hours says that maybe he meant the Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup. I guess that is possible. The Florida Panthers aren't bad. They're like fourth place. Except only problem with that open 24 hours is that my Bruins are going to win the cup. So if the Bruins win the Stanley Cup, how are the Panthers going to win the Stanley Cup?
That's a good point.
Did you even think about that?
That's a good point.
NKC Rules in the chat asking, where's Simon? He left because he was probably too scared.
Probably too scared, yeah. He usually is.
We mentioned at the start of the show, but he's been he unfortunately overdosed on
Nacho
Libre, watching too much Jack Black. So we're getting him help, but he's stuck in the ring right now doing his best Mexican wrestling moves. So,
yep.
Thoughts and prayers to Simon.
Thoughts and prayers.
Get your T's and P's out, send tweet at him, tweet as many thoughts and prayers as you can at Simon until he comes
and
back.
As many Nacho Libre GIFs as you can.
As many as you can find, which I'm sure there's a few. I still have to watch that movie. I probably should check it out.
Yeah, we should do a little watch party.
Yeah.
Coop, have you played Cuphead?
Yes. Oh my God.
Simon's got us playing it now, and Maria and I can't stop. Just like hours.
I'll tell you, it is so much fun, and the animation is
infuriating.
It is infuriating. It is. It's reminiscent. They built it like the old video games, it's like
hand drawn.
It's all hand drawn, but they put a new spin on it. But the most old timey thing about it is that like when you die, you have to do it again. Like it's just like those old Super Nintendo games that were just impossibly so difficult, like Battletoads or like Super Star Wars. These games that are just impossible. Like that's Cuphead.
We'll play for hours. We'll play for hours in a night and not beat a single level.
I know, dude. It is, and when you finally do beat it, it's so satisfying. I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but there's
you
one
beat
guy.
it?
So yes, I did. I did beat. I beat it with my old.
Whoa! Hey!
Oh.
What's up, guys?
Whoa!
Sorry, I had a
What
match
up?
this morning. I had to get to that real quick, but we're good now.
How's
What
the
did
training
you?
coming
What
along?
did you? What did you just toss aside there?
Oh, yeah, I just had a quick match this morning.
Oh.
Oh, that's
No big
That's
deal.
what we were a
Making my
little
way up the
concerned
circuit.
of.
You got to start with the morning matches. You know what I mean? Whenever you're getting started, but hey, that's what every luchador does at the beginning of their career. I'm no better.
It's like it's like ice time. It's like ice time in hockey. Like when you're just starting, you have like the 4 o'clock ice time, and then as you work your way up, you get better times. You get like the after
Exactly.
school time. Yeah.
Right. I've got the 4 a.m. ice time now.
4 a.m. nice time, man. That feels like it's not too desirable.
And
Yeah.
oddly enough, in San Antonio, one of the hottest cities in America, they do all their wrestling on ice.
That's smart. That's
Wow.
really smart.
Even in the drought.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just to really put you out of your element. We're so used to being in the heat. It's to add an extra element of it.
Yeah, as
Simon.
Victor in the chat said, Simon, buenos dias, muchacho.
What's up,
Buenos
Victor? Welcome in, my
dias.
friend.
In case he asked, where's Simon? He left because he was probably too scared.
Oh, yeah. You have no idea, MKC.
So scared.
Yeah, but you made it. You're here.
Yeah, he did. Good to see you, Simon.
And I see Dustin in here. So much color on Simon's screen, not in a bad way.
It's
Morning,
nice.
boys.
It's
What's up,
nice,
Dustin?
Simon. You're like a bright ray of sunshine.
And Tommy said, "Did you escape from a prison in Arizona?"
I'm not gonna lie. That shirt, is that shirt pink or is it orange?
So I have this problem where like my bright pink things always look orange on stream.
do
Like
look
my
orange.
Spurs hat looks orange, but it couldn't be pinker, and this also couldn't be pinker, but it definitely looks orange.
I don't like
Absolutely
that. Don't like that description of anything.
Couldn't be
Could it be pinker?
Sounds like a what musical artist would have that as their album title?
Couldn't be pinker.
Besides Pink. Oh, I tried to get that in there in time.
It's too obvious.
Pinker.
That sounds like a Demi
Frank.
Lovato.
Frank Zappa. Yeah,
Willie Nelson.
that's great.
I'm trying. Now I've just got like that hypothetical song playing in my head.
Couldn't be Pink.
Open 24 hours said Spinal Tap.
No more.
That's a good one, dude.
Couldn't be pinker. Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap's such a good movie. Have you guys seen that one?
Yeah, a long time ago. Maybe in college.
Yeah.
I don't remember a single thing about it, to be honest.
Yeah. So yeah, we had some tight ends finding their spots. That also kind of opens the door for some of these other tight ends, though. You know, obviously they could draft one or land somebody else, but we saw last year the Cowboys, when Schultz was hurt, use Jake Ferguson and use Peyton Hendershot. Any interest for Cowboys tight ends, or just there's a little too crowded over there for you boys?
Well, I think Peyton might have a Hender shot at getting a starting job after what we saw last year.
Oh, I like that.
Coming
Wow.
in firing, dude.
This may just be confirmation bias on the limited sample size we saw this year, but I feel like I saw a little bit more of Peyton Hendershot from the opportunities he was given. We'll see going into next year. Honestly, it's probably a coin flip, and the reality is there's probably a veteran or an additional option coming in. And with the addition of Brandon Cooks in this offense, Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb, do they really need that person to be involved in the passing game? So I'm not convinced there's going to be fantasy value there. If you want to take a late round shot on one of these guys, I'm cool with it, just because it's such a high-powered offense.
Yeah, I worry about. So the number one worry for me is that they add Brandon Cooks. So it's not just CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, which Dalton Schultz is dealing with. Now it's CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup and Brandon Cooks. On top of that, you made a good point regarding Hendershot that he did pop because of his role. When Dalton Schultz was out, there were 2 games there. In those games, Ferguson started, but he played inline, and Hendershot mixed in the slot, and they both basically split the routes. Hendershot ran 114, Ferguson ran 116. That's all it takes for me to be out on both of them. I don't want. It's hard enough if one of them had the full role. It's already hard enough to compete with those wide receivers. If they're going to split the role in half, I just don't want any part of it. So I'm just out on both of them.
Makes sense. Dustin in the chat saying Hendershot is my guy.
Let's go.
Ooh, Dusty calling his Hender
Hendershoots.
shot. He Hender shoots, he Hender scores.
Is he calling his Hendies?
Calling his handies, dude. Is that what we should say now if someone's calling their shot? Are you
Call your
calling
handy.
You calling handy right now, dude?
A handy shot.
Yeah, call your new segment. Call your Hender shot.
Oh, your handy shot. I like it. That definitely sounds like we named it.
We should just name every segment after tight ends. Like later today, we're doing
Moreau,
a Moreau, later.
Yeah, I guess that might not be clear. That's based off of Foster Moreau.
Yeah, no, I think people just think we're
Well,
stupid.
and like in 3 years, 80% of our segment names would make no sense.
Oh,
As the
yeah.
tight end landscape is just entire because we're not naming it after like Mark Andrews and TJ Hawkinson. We're like, I know.
Right.
Foster Moreau and Peyton
The
Hendershot.
transient tight ends.
We'll be naming.
Yeah, at that point, it's just going to be much more annoying to explain it. Well, there used to be this backup tight end for the Cowboys.
all the tight ends we name our segments after have one of those sticks with like the bandanas tied to the end of it, and they just ride trains everywhere.
Yeah, the hobo tight ends,
Oh, what tight
the
ends?
journeyman tight ends.
Where's
Yeah.
our Gary Barnage named segment?
Why does Gary Barnett sound like an esteemed author every time I hear his name?
It's my favorite. It's my favorite random tight end. I don't know why. Gary Barnage is the one where it's like that's the one.
It feels like he is James Patterson.
The author.
Just yeah, it feels like that he's just exactly James Patterson.
Dude, it was such a
Gary Barnage.
Simon, the reason it feels like that is that his whole thing, it really was like a my work here is done situation. Like he showed up, had 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns, and then he was like, well,
And out.
see you later. My people, I must go now. My people need me. And then he went back to doing like his like book club or whatever he did.
It's almost like having 1,000 yards in the NFL was just a bucket list item for him.
Yeah.
Like he just checked it off and then immediately on to the next bucket list item. Okay,
It's
what's
so-
next?
It's so great
This
because
is the Great Wall.
Eat
All right.
1,000 grapefruits.
It's so great though because it gives us hope for every dynasty player ever now. We can just sit there and be like, well, you're gonna want to hold on to Jonnu Smith because Gary Barnage at 30 years old decided just to be tight end like 3, you know?
Or Delaney Walker at 47 years old decided to be tight end 4 or whatever he was that year.
Yeah, he had like 3 at 30 years old, he had back top 5 tight end seasons.
Yeah, your classic year 7 breakout.
You know why that
tight end
happens?
Position.
That happens when you get drafted in the 6th round by the 49ers, but in the 1st round of that same draft, they take Vernon Davis. That's how that happens.
You got Davis.
You got Davis.
God, Davis.
Signing the second contract was
Davis.
signing the second contract in San Francisco was probably the mistake there.
You've been burned.
He got burned up.
Too hot here in San Francisco.
Too hot.
You got burned.
Ugh. Sounds hairy like a cat.
Is that the best single team tight end draft of all time?
Vernon Davis and Delaney Walker.
Very good. Maybe
Saying it's not Hayden Hurst and Mark Andrews.
That's the only other one I can think of.
well, there's one that might have been on pace, but didn't pan out as good. The Patriots took both Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez in the same draft. So for a
Was
short
working
period,
out for a bit.
It worked out for a minute.
and then it all came crashing down.
Yeah.
I can't think of too many other examples though.
Did the Cardinals go 2 tight ends this past year? I mean, it feels like they went late. Trey McKitty, is he his rookie?
No, McKitty was the year before, and he's also on the
A
Chargers.
different team. I'm thinking of Trey McBride. Did
We've
they
done
draft
that.
somebody else with Trey McBride?
No, they might have.
I can't remember. Not that they would be.
Not that they'd be
spoken
in the
same breath. Yeah. Not that they'd be in this conversation, but
Yeah. So we'll have to
So-
say, man. But I think that might be the best tight end draft of all time.
Victor in the chat. Dustin said Hendershot is my guy. And Victor said Henny Shots is my shot.
any shots.
Oh yeah.
What
There
up,
you go.
Victor?
Nice.
Any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday. There's some interesting news on Twitter yesterday about Jimmy Garoppolo. Apparently, a Hustler Club, Larry Flint's Hustler Club has offered him a lifetime platinum VIP membership to the new Raiders quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, valued at $500,000. It's within walking distance to Allegiant Stadium.
I think it's probably a good idea to turn that down. I just off the top of my head on that one, dude, you definitely don't
It's
want
like a trap.
First day in Vegas, you fall
Larry
for the
Flint.
classic trick, dude. You know what I'm saying? Dude?
They tried that with everyone, Jimmy.
Just shows up. He's like, all right, let me get this smut magazine
Valued at
membership.
$500,000. He just gets jumped in a Vegas parking lot.
Bro, if he falls for that, he's gonna fall for everything over there.
Do you think they had the Jimmy G spot ready to go in there?
Oh no!
Where he was gonna sit all clean and ready.
Oh, it's like a booth. Is that like his booth?
Yeah.
Now
that's
I
just
picture
what the sign over it says.
I picture Larry Flint standing there with a banner and a bottle of champagne. He's like, "What do you mean he's not coming?"
Wiping down the sign.
He's just like,
it really does have like a seedy layer of the Lotus
Right.
Eaters type vibe to it. Like, oh,
Larry
new QB in Vegas. Like, let's see if we can lure him in.
Within walking distance of Allegiant Stadium, like, are you implying that he's like going to walk there on game days?
yeah. Not to mention,
Like, how
like,
often is he at the stadium?
also
Yo,
like
VIP Platinum. He can probably get right in on game days.
Allegiant Stadium's in kind of a weird part of Vegas too, where there's not much out where it is, right?
Well, Coop, apparently there's the Larry Flint Hustler Club out there.
Yeah, seriously though, it's like a bunch of warehouses out there.
Larry Flint's.
Larry Flint's just in a dark alley. He's like, "Hey kid, come here." Hey, you look.
Who are you? I'm Larry.
Are you new in town?
You look handsome.
You look.
Jimmy G shows up and Hunter Renfro's in the corner. He's been running stuff for a year. We just didn't even know it. He got the same offer last year. It just didn't make the headlines. He's just eating grapes in the he's eating grapes in the corner, like lounging back, having grapes spiked to him on a VIP
spot.
wearing like a velvet suit.
And Jimmy's like, "Oh, I thought that was
Right next to-
I thought that was Garoppolo."
No, that was Garoppolo. It's just right next to each other, two booths.
Oh, you know what, Jimmy G? I agree with Coop. Should probably turn that down. That being said, you know what? I could see this working on getting some other star players to Vegas in the future. Know what I mean? As a little bargaining chip. I'm sure there are
OBJ?
players that have spent that amount of money at similar establishments in a year that would sure love for it to be a VIP membership,
True.
without a doubt.
Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer, right? They can start attracting the top failed college head coaching talent. So Joey said, if you give Simon an extra $10, he'll use the good turtle wax. Indeed.
Ooh, Maria just vomited when I said Urban's G spot. Or she was like, "Well,
Fair. 100% fair.
So, boys, I think it's that time of the day. Did you guys bring your socks this morning?
I
am gonna make you guys wait to see my really fun socks. 100% building tension is what's going on.
Yeah,
here.
let's.
did."
Yeah,
All about
okay.
the anticipation.
I'm with you on that. Can we at least you want to let the people know why today is an interesting sock day?
Go for it, Coop.
We can absolutely do that. So a good friend of the show, Ryan McDowell. I say good friend, even though he's almost exclusively mean to me on Twitter. But
he loves you.
That's exactly it. Twitter works kind of like real life, where you're allowed to be mean, but only to your friends, right? So, so we love Ryan, and today is World Down Syndrome Day. So support Grayson and others like him. What you do is you wear a crazy pair of socks. So we're going to have ours on today. We actually already do have them on, especially Simon, and we're going to show everybody after the first break. But we encourage everybody out there, rock your crazy socks today. Call in the show or tag Ryan on Twitter at RyanMC23 and show off your cool socks. But definitely call in the show. I want to see your feet.
Yeah, shout out Grayson.
Shout out Grayson, dude. Shout out
Grayson's
World
the
Down
man.
Syndrome Day. You're bringing a little bit of little bit of joy into the world and you're having a little fun with it. So get your crazy socks and put them on now.
8
All right.
o'clock. You get to see our feet.
8 o'clock, you get to see our feet. That's what we got in
That's a
store
fact.
for you.
Yeah.
And
here
Joey
come the-
said, I wore my crazy socks for sure.
Let's
I have
go.
4
There you
faces of
go.
Bill Murray.
Oh, dude, call in, Joey. Call in.
Show
I
us
wanna
your
see 'em.
feet.
Call in.
Show us
Show
your
us your
feet,
feet.
Joey.
Yeah,
Call in.
classic. Nobody clip that part, please.
Somebody only clip that part.
all the
Keith
YouTube.
has that as a drop from now on. Just keep going. Call in. Show us your
Call in.
feet.
Show us your feet. Let's go. Let's see those tutzels. Yeah, no, we don't want to see your bare feet. We don't want to see your bare feet. We want to see your crazy socks for World Down Syndrome Day. Okay.
The hell is a tutzel?
If you have to ask, you can't
It
afford
was the end of the futsal.
and your foot.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You got your
I see.
tootsels at the end of your futsal
Which
Time
is at the end of your.
leg.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's where it gets the same. That's where the
You dummy.
crossover is.
Yeah.
You guys
Well,
ready to
for-
get?
Yeah, I was gonna say if we're not gonna do that, we might as well do the Weddle in the meantime.
Get into that Weddle today. If you guys have not played Weddle with us before, you can play along with us by going to weddlegame.com. It's the NFL player guessing game. We're going to guess NFL players, and then we're going to get some information that's either correct or incorrect. It's going to let us know their position, their height, their number, their team, their astrological sign.
Your favorite book to read on a Sunday afternoon.
Adam
Their
Thielen is
least
a
favorite book to read on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh,
right.
it's Shel Silverstein.
player. Should we guess first?
It doesn't get worse than Shel Silverstein.
T. Higgins.
It was T. Higgins
Oh, it's T. Higgins
yesterday.
yesterday.
I'm so mad that it was T. Higgins
I know.
yesterday.
That kind of we should start. We should only guess the ones. Oh, look what we have here.
What's up,
Hey,
Joey?
guys. I forgot my AirPods, so I'm not going to be on long. Just going to show my socks.
Okay, let's see those feet. Show us them tootsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I've got
Bill,
my foot on the
Bill,
dash.
Bill,
How sexy is
Bill.
that?
The Bill
He's just
Murray's,
sitting
dude.
staring at the sunset.
I like that.
Cool.
Hell
All
yeah.
right, guys.
Enjoy your day,
Nice
Joseph.
feet.
Have a
Cheers,
good one.
buddy.
Adios.
Bye.
That's cool, man. I like those.
The 6 socks. Who are we going with now?
Tommy said I got my Red Sox on. Lots of holes and they stink. That's pretty
Pretty
rude.
crazy.
That's pretty
It's
rude,
crazy in some regards.
I'll offer you 2 options. You guys choose Pacheco or Amari Cooper.
These Red
Mark
Sox,
Cooper,
world champion Red Sox.
What?
world champion Red Sox. How about the world champion guy named Amari Cooper?
Oh.
Okay,
All right. I
no-
put in Amari Cooper.
as did I. AFC North is incorrect, but AFC is correct, and they are a little bit younger than 28. That's all the information we got. So they're at least 6'4". Their number is at least 5. They're not a wide receiver. So this could be a tight end or quarterback in the AFC. Relatively young. 26
AFC
or
not
27.
North.
AFC not North.
What about Mike Gesicki?
Yeah. Could
It
be
could
Mike,
be Gesicki.
could be Gesicki. You want to give
Let's go with
Gesicki a
Gesicki.
shot?
Get him
Yeah,
in
that'll
there.
count for
Tell
it.
me Gesicki. Nope, but AFC East is
Gesicki.
correct. So now we
Okay.
know they are 6'4" or 6'5".
Okay. So
They are
probably
26.
quarterbacks.
They're 26 specifically.
26 specifically,
In
prop
the
or
AFC
quarterback
East.
or probably
So,
quarterback.
could
Could be a
be
really
Tua.
tall running back.
How old
be-
is Tua?
Tua, like so all
not
the
Miami.
quarterbacks kind of fit. Mac Jones is
Oh.
a little too young.
Not Miami.
It's not Mac Jones or Bailey.
What about
Zappi.
Tua?
Yeah, let's get to it. Yeah, it's not Miami. I just almost fell for the classic blunder. How about Josh Allen?
Too old.
Is
Right?
he?
26, 20, yeah, I think
He
he's
came out the same year as
27.
Baker, and those guys are
Who's 26?
Oh, it could be
Our
Mike. It could be Mike White. No, Mike White's
Could be
old.
Damian Harris. But how tall is Damian Harris?
Damian Harris is not 6'4". 6'4".
6'4".
6'5".
6'5".
6'5". Matey. He's not 6'5", matey.
All right, let's go with one.
Bailey Zappi.
Bailey
He's too
Zappi's not
short.
26.
Yeah, you're true. You're true.
You're
He's
true. You're true.
Let's
You're
just try
true.
Josh Allen. Let's put him in there and see what
All
happens.
right.
If it's not Josh Allen, I quit. How about that?
It's Josh Allen. We
Oh!
get it. He's a baby. I thought he was older.
What an angel. And he's a
26.
monster. He's simultaneously a baby and also a monster. 6'5".
Look at that 6'5", 240-pound baby.
Yeah, big baby. That's a big baby.
Well, Josh Allen, we got you.
Yeah,
In the Weddle game forever.
Congrats.
Good thing we got him because I was going to quit, like I said.
Victor, and
Find-
you're guessing
find a way.
Gerald Everett. Great guess, but
Wrong.
Right idea.
Incorrect.
Right
I
idea,
guess so.
except completely wrong, Victor. It's Josh Allen.
Come on, Victor.
Wake up. Get your socks. Show us your feet.
Show us your feet, Victor.
Come on. Tommy
Yeah.
said, "Show me potato salad."
I wish I had a bowl of potato salad there. Keith.
I would have been
That'd be
shot
crazy.
in jail if you would have pulled out a bowl of potato salad
Right?
right there.
Man, I could have orchestrated that. I could have just paid Tommy to say that.
Would be
Like
nice.
weeks in advance, you let him know
What a weird joke.
on March 21st.
Potato salad!
at 6:50
Finally, it hit.
p.m., You need to come in the chat and say, "Show me potato salad," and I'm gonna have a giant glass bowl with my mom's secret recipe ready to go.
Would
Does
it
your
be
mom have a
worth it?
secret recipe of potato salad?
Not that I'm aware of. That sounds like for false. That just
What?
sounds not good.
That sounds for false.
I think it
Potato
sounds
salad's
great.
the food that, like, once you turn 60, there's always a container of it in your fridge at all times, fresh, ready to go. You can eat it with a spoon.
And
Just
will also
there.
simultaneously give you food poisoning.
It'll give anyone else food poisoning except for the owner of the potato salad. They
Of
can
course,
pull it out
'cause
at any moment and grab
They
it.
train their body to be used to it.
Hey, while we're on this topic, boys, I want to ask your opinion on it. How do you feel about people keeping recipes secret?
Keeping recipes what? Secret?
Like having it be like a secret recipe where you're just like, I'm not telling. Like, especially people that like brag.
Oh, I'm
about
all
it.
about it.
You're cool with that. Okay.
Mhm. If you wanna keep your recipe secret, more power to you. Do you know how hard it is to keep a secret? And do you know how hard it is to
Impossible.
remember things? Like,
Can't
if
do
you
that.
can manage to pass down a secret recipe, like that's a feat.
Like the Coca-Cola guys.
Like the Coca-Cola guys, I don't know, the urban myth, whether it's true or not, the two guys who never travel on the same airplane.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is wild.
How did they kept that a secret for so long?
I also heard a story that somebody at Pepsi got disgruntled and tried to give the Pepsi recipe to the Coca-Cola guys, and they had too much respect.
They were like, "No, thank you."
For real though, they were like, "No, we have too much respect
We're
for
good.
them. We're not going to accept that."
They're like, "We don't want that garbage."
Meanwhile, Pepsi would have been like, "Oh, give me that with the Coke
Yeah,
recipe."
100%.
We have
Absolutely.
new Pepsi.
Do you want this inferior recipe?
Well, I think we have some people coming up to show us their feet, if I'm
Get
not mistaken.
them
I don't
on in.
unless they're
Let me see
calling
them
in for some
socks.
other reason, but we've been pretty clear. If you call
Show us your
in,
feet.
show us your feet.
Right.
Step one, call in. Step
What's
two,
up,
show
Craig?
us-
Hey,
Hello, Craig.
Yes.
This has to be quick before the kids take over, but
Show me them
us
feet.
your feet.
Tootles.
Oh.
Whoa! Steak and tacos! Tacosaurus!
Tacosaurus.
of course they're dinosaurs with me. But there you go, guys.
Awesome, Craig, thank you so much.
Great feet. Great feet.
Those might be the best ones, dude. Those might be the winners.
That's some
With great feet comes great responsibility.
I think it was
So far
Spider-Man that
we've
said that.
seen
John F. Spider-Man.
John F. Spider-Man. With great feet comes great responsibility. Ciao!
Ka-chow.
Also, Tim said, I have those socks, Craig. Tim and Craig, of course, you guys have the same Stegosaurus taco
I
socks.
just assume Tim has every set of socks ever made.
I'm pretty sure I have a pair of Tim's dinosaur socks in my sock drawer right now.
How many pairs of dinosaur socks does Tim have that he's leaving them
60
around?
million.
Tim is a dinosaur sock. Well, guys, coming up, we've got a couple games heading your way. We're going to play some Quote Make Quote Face and Vague Descriptions. We're going to talk about the Baltimore Raisins.
Oh,
The
boy.
Baltimore Raisins.
We're going to talk about the Baltimore Raisins.
Shrivel,
Stephen
shrivel.
King review. Will they reach new heights or will they continue to shrivel up? And then we're going to get to a segment called The Moreau You Know, teaching you a little bit about some facts we've learned over the past couple weeks. Right now, you're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
As a longtime baseball fan, here's my message to other baseball fans, to steal a line from the Packers' future Hall of Fame quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, RELAX. Everyone needs to relax after what we saw this past weekend as spring training games out in Arizona and down in Florida got going, and we're inching closer and closer to Major League Baseball opening day. The rule changes in Major League Baseball is not for myself. It's not for you out there, the hardened baseball fan, whether you're a fan 5, 10, 15, 30, or even 50 years. From all around this great country. It's not for those that are going to be locked in. It's for trying to generate more fans. So if they want the pitcher to go out there and work in rhythm with a guy on base, begin to wind up within 20 seconds, nobody on base, begin to wind up within 15 seconds, or have the batter make sure that he's back in the batter's box within 8 seconds, then making the base pass first, second, and third bigger, eliminating the shift. All of this is to make the game better. We've seen leagues, whether it be the National Football League. Do you think it's the same league as it is today in 2023, or what we saw in 2022 as it was 30 years ago? No, it's not. Is NBA basketball the same? No. How many games do you see being played? 83-79 finals. You don't see that at all. So every league adjusts to try and bring what? More fans into the sport. And that is something that Major League Baseball is going out there and trying to do. I've been critical at times of Rob Manfred, whether or not as a MLB commissioner, whether he likes the sport based on some of the rhetoric that he has spewed in years gone by. But I got to be honest with you, as a longtime baseball fan, I've been a Yankee fan my entire life. Watched a ton of Met games here in the tri-state area. Watched baseball all around. Can't wait for October baseball. Think it's absolutely unbelievable what is transpiring now and what's happening now, and the rule changes being brought about baseball. It's going to bring back to the game to when I became a fan, where the stolen base was something, moving guys over was something, having men on base, batting averages ascending, not being an all or nothing league where either you're striking out or hitting the ball over the fence. And that is what baseball is trying to do. So as everybody tries to adjust, and change is difficult, whether you're changing your diet, exercise routine, changing your relationships, changing a job, change is different. I get that. And it's hard. But let's take a step back. Let's understand what Major League Baseball is trying to do here. And they're trying to repopulate or repopularize the sport. That's what they're trying to do. They're clearly the third most popular sport in the United States. They want to make it less regionalized. This is the way they need to go about doing it. I'm all for it. For more content like this, download the Bettor Sports Network app or go to bettorsports.com.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. Call in. Show us your feet.
Show us your feet. Show us your feet.
If you're just joining us, call in and show us your feet.
The show is so bad, dude.
I hate you. I hate you for that. In my head, I was playing this whole scenario where I'm yelling at people outside of my window. Show me your feet. And then you said that.
No, but for real, today we are all wearing.
Show us your feet.
We're wearing fun socks today. It is World Down Syndrome Day, and we are honoring our friend Ryan McDowell's son, who wants everyone to wear some crazy socks today. So if you got the crazy socks, put them on. Tag Ryan McDowell on Twitter. Come on the show and show us your feet, and let's get as many crazy socks out there today, spreading some joy as we can.
I just if you're looking for the tweet, you don't follow Ryan. I just retweeted it, and the crazy sock pictures are already pouring in, already making me chuckle. I think my favorite so far is somebody's. So it looks like somebody's Bob Gilchrist's daughter is wearing these unicorn socks that have actual like unicorn hair on them as well. Excellent. Those are out. Those are way out in front. Hair? I think it's real. I truly think it might be.
It's illegal. Somebody turn her in.
Illegal unicorn hair. Arrest list.
Illegal unicorn hair.
I know Bob, and I don't think Bob's letting his daughter walk around with fake unicorn hair on his socks. Like he's a man of respect and dignity.
Man of respect and dignity, which everybody knows comes from your unicorn socks.
It comes from your unicorn socks. It's the number one measure. Your
Number
unicorn
one
hair socks.
Are we showing our socks?
Let's show our socks. How are we doing
Oh,
this? I'm just
boy.
gonna climb up. Oh, I'm wearing pajamas.
I put pants on.
That's
Great.
on today.
yeah.
What do you got?
Look at this.
Oh, Rugrats.
Clemson,
Oh,
Nickelodeon.
oh.
Clemson,
Hey, Arnold?
Nickelodeon, Hey Arnold,
What?
Gerald, freaking that guy from Rugrats
Chucky,
with Clemson.
Why is Clemson on there with all that?
where did you get those, JL?
Shout out Lance, my buddy from college, who sent me those like last year.
Shout out Lance. Every
Just for
once in a
fun.
while, like I'll be down, I'll scroll Twitter, and I'll just see a tweet from Lance, and it cheers me
Smart
right up.
people.
I
Smart.
got some DC fuzzy sticky socks with the little DC
Ooh.
characters on them, but they're all like little cartoon versions.
I like
DC,
that.
like DC Comics.
Yeah, like there's a Robin and Batman and Wonder Woman's at the top. We got the
Whoa.
Flash on the back.
They kind of look like
Ah.
Funko Pops.
They are a
Yeah.
little Funko Poppy.
I have
Show us your feet, Coop.
I have-
Show us your feet.
I have cactus.
Those are shoes.
My shoes. I'm gonna stand on this chair. I have cactus socks on. I couldn't decide which cactus socks to wear.
He's climbing all the way up. Hang from your fan.
I couldn't decide
Look at
which
that.
cactus socks to wear, so I wore two different pairs of cactus socks at the same time.
Of course. Coop
Yes.
with the understated cactus sock
I like it.
mixed with the blue cactus sock.
I like it.
A little formal fun on this.
Looks like you'd buy that in New Mexico.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I
Just
actually
one
have
of them.
I have 30 different pairs of cactus socks, so I'm actually wearing all 30.
Also,
Wow.
Dustin said, "Am I the only person who doesn't own a pair of crazy socks?
Why do I feel
I
like
don't-
Dustin's sock drawer is just all beige?
I don't own a single pair of like plain socks. Like if you want to find just some white socks or just like a pair of black dress socks, my sock drawer is the wrong place to go hunting.
Tim's is definitely the wrong place to go hunting.
Tim's is the wrong place to go hunting. My father's sock drawer, if you are looking for exclusively the same pair of gold toe black dress socks, then you have come to the right place. My father's sock drawer.
Gold toes are the go. I was wearing gold toes yesterday. I pretty much once you turn a certain age, you can only wear gold toe socks.
It's the gold toe age threshold.
You guys will get there. You guys will get there. One day you'll just throw away every pair of socks you have and then only buy gold toe socks.
From Costco.
We got Jolly Rancher in the chat. What's up, Mom? Saying sock
Laguna
envy.
Bell. Sock envy. Yeah.
Let's go.
I get that every time I go to Atlanta.
And Hal said, once white, now beige. Those are the socks. That's the color of Hal's socks. And Dustin said, I might be Simon's dad. Papa.
That would be pretty
Show
awesome.
me your feet.
Show
Show
me
me
your-
your feet.
Look at my feet, Papa.
Papa.
The first thing you say to your father when he announces his presence on your morning show. Show me your
Show
feet.
us your feet.
Show me your feet, Dad.
Oh,
Good to see you, Father.
don't like that.
How are them toesies?
How are them tootsels?
Tootles,
How-
dude.
Want a little salt with them tootsels?
Tasty. Look at those calves. Well, guys, I think it's time to get into our game of Quotey McQuoteface. This is the game where we're going to have to identify anonymous quotes that are presented to us. JL's going to throw a quote our direction. We're going to have to tell them who said it and why they said it, give the name and the context. If you get those things right, you're going to get a point for each, but miss either, and your opponent will have the opportunity to steal. Whoever has the most points at the end of this game of Quotey McQuoteface will be our Quotey McQuoteface champion for today. You guys
Let's
ready?
go. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. All right. Our first Quotey McQuoteface prompt. But first, I should probably tell you who's going first. Coop, you were going first in this game of Quotey McQuoteface.
Yes.
You win, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Coop, your first quote. Revamping my mind is the first step, and then just relearning the language. It's basically like going Spanish to French, something like that, and it won't take long. I think his offense obviously has evolved over the years and just got to pick it up quickly as possible. Coop, who
Okay.
said this? What are they talking about?
So with the language stuff, we've heard this before to a certain degree. Tavon Austin once said that as a rookie, he said that learning the Rams playbook was like reading Spanish. I think that this is probably a quarterback saying this. It's probably a quarterback that's playing for a new coach. My guess would be, so that narrows it down to a select few. It also is a coach that's been around for a while, given the quotes, right? So there's a number of context clues that can help us narrow it down to a couple different people. And what I'm going to do is guess the wrong person, and then Simon will correctly guess who it is. So I think that in this case, it is this is Russell Wilson, and the context is he's talking about Sean Payton's offense.
You going with Russell Wilson talking about Sean Payton's offense, and that is incorrect on both accounts.
Awesome.
I'm sorry, Coop. Simon.
Coop, I want to be respectful of your playing here, and so I fully intend on getting this one right.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
I think you missed one little clue in there, and I think when he was talking about him having been around, I think he was also specifically talking about having played with him before.
Ooh.
And the system is updated from a couple years ago when they played together back in New England. I think this is Jimmy Garoppolo, new quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders, talking about the updates Josh McDaniels has made to his offensive system and kind of getting back in sync with his former coach.
I like it. Show me
Going
Jim
Jimmy.
Jam Galapagos.
Simon, you're going with Jim Jam Galapagos talking about getting back into Josh McDaniels' offense, and that is correct.
Boom!
On both accounts, 2 points for you, Simon.
We did it, everybody.
We did it. Good work, Coop.
Good job. Good job.
We did it.
You
That was-
shoveled the
that-
driveway,
that's-
and I pulled the car out so cleanly.
That's smart, though. That was great that you picked up on that, because that does make a lot of sense. That it is he played in the offense, but it has been what 3-4 years since he was in the offense. So of course things are going to change.
I would have believed you if you said 8, just because it feels like 3 or 4, but sometimes things that feel like 3 or 4 years ago were really 8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's like the
Speaking
'90s.
from experience.
People were like, every time they said the '90s, I was like, yeah, 10 years ago. Might have been 12.
15 max, but that math's hard.
Yeah, no chance it was 23 years ago. That can't be right.
No, when it gives me like when I used to get the memory updates from Facebook, and it would be like 10 years ago today, and I was like an adult. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I shouldn't have been an adult 10 years ago.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
10 years ago, I was a child for
Yeah.
sure.
100%.
You dare show me that I was an adult 10 years ago. It's disrespectful.
Also, I just opened up the chat over here, and I see Dustin getting that one as well.
Dustin.
Nice job,
Right.
Dustin. And this is a reminder to
Dustin.
everybody. Me and Coop have the chat closed while the round is underway, so feel free to play along in the chat. Throw your answers down there.
Yeah,
We won't
and
see them unless we cheat. And then if we do see them, you get to be a part of us cheating.
exactly. which is
Yeah.
a beautiful thing.
History.
Also, if you describe the crazy socks you're wearing today in the chat, we won't see it. So you have to call in, use the app, download the app.
We can't read.
Bettor. I can't read, so I don't have to close the chat. We won't be able to see your crazy socks unless you call in and show us. So show us your feet, and then we
Did you
can move
guys-
on with the rest of the
You
day.
guys see the best part of these? That they've got the grippies on the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah, I
like,
did see that. The
that's
little duck feet.
I don't want to brag, but I'm not slipping today.
I don't know. I don't care. I don't care where they come from, but I always refer to socks with grippies on the bottom as hospital socks.
I refer to them as
Hospital
like Sky Zone socks.
Sky Zone.
The trampoline parks have supplanted the hospital memories associated with those socks for me.
We absolutely need to make a video of us 3 going to a Sky Zone.
And then at the hospital.
And then
at the hospital.
that's why they're still called hospital socks.
Yeah, that's why they make you wear
All
them
of
at
us
Sky
wearing
Zone.
our
Yeah.
So that whenever you inevitably get taken off in an ambulance, you grown ass man, why are you on a trampoline?
You're already ready.
You'll be ready to go.
I don't think my back can handle any sort of trampolining. My spine would just telescope immediately.
Coop goes down, his spine goes back up, but his
10
feet stay
10 years
firmly
ago, he was
planted on the
80.
ground.
Tim said, I'll drive you guys.
Thanks,
Like Tim is going to go to Sky Zone and not go in.
Tim,
Okay,
show us your
Brett.
socks, dude.
Mr.
Tim,
Junior Olympics trampolinist.
lot of
literally
so-
like a highest level trampolinist that you can get to without going to the Olympics.
Yeah.
A lot of sock talk from Tim in the chat without him actually calling in and showing us his socks.
Show us your feet.
You coward.
I feel like YouTube's gonna take us off for that.
Ryan's gonna watch this show back and be like, "Hey guys, I appreciate it, but
Just pull it back a little
Yeah.
Just-
you got the spirit of it, but maybe tone it down."
as I post my foot on Twitter.
Nailed it.
Why is it weird to post pictures of your feet?
I personally don't think it is.
Coop's like, I personally don't think it is, and I think more people should do it. Actually, I really think it's normal, and everyone should post pictures of their feet on the internet.
Normalize feet pics. All right, our next.
I don't think you have no ulterior motives in that. In that endeavor.
Rex Ryan sitting there. He's like, yeah.
Please let me see them pistols.
We do have a lot more likes on the YouTube channel than we normally get.
Surprised the porn bots haven't shown up.
They'll be here. Smash that like button though if you haven't, please. Please, come on, hit subscribe.
You guys smell that?
What you got?
That's
Round
someone's
two?
feet.
Oh, I thought it was round 2.
That's round. That's round 2.
Yeah,
Simon, this one's yours.
Let's do it.
Quotey McQuote face. Round 2. Here it is. I wouldn't say the last year really humbled me. I learned a lot from it. I still believed in myself. I think that's the only way I was able to get through it and finish on somewhat of a high note. Playing for blank.
Oh, that last part. If you didn't redact it, would have made this a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Okay. I was going a completely different way until I got to blank, but I didn't hear this specific quote, but it sounds very much in the same vein as the Baker Mayfield press conference that I was watching. He played for 3 different teams last season. I remember him talking about it. It wasn't in my plans to put on 3 different jerseys in the year 2022, but here we are. Was something along the lines that he said. So I think this is Baker Mayfield talking about his tumultuous 2022-2023 NFL season, culminating in finishing playing for Sean McVay and the Rams and kind of showcasing that he still got it.
Show me tumultuous.
Simon going with tumultuous. Baker Mayfield talking about his 2022 campaign, playing for 3 different teams, and that is correct.
Yeah.
Oh, the count. Simon with a back-to-back victory here.
Thank God that was right.
Quote
'Cause
F you.
I didn't have another guess at all.
yeah.
Like that was just it was too correct. Like if that was wrong, I would have just been like,
I don't know then. Well
Right.
done, Simon. It's going to give you 2 additional points. This was a Baker Mayfield talking about how he's still confident despite a tumultuous 2022 season. Well
Baker
done.
Mayfield coming on down
Baker
to
Mayfield.
Tampa Bay.
I tweeted this out yesterday. But Maria made me laugh so hard because she accidentally said Cuffalo Bollyflowers.
The Cuffalo Bollyflowers.
And I couldn't stop laughing.
That sounds like
Cuffalo Bollyflowers.
what a name. What a stage name. The Cuffalo Bollyflowers.
Cuffalo Bollyflowers.
Well, guys, I think we got someone else coming up here to show us their feet. Get those fun socks up here, man.
get them
Turns out
up.
all you have to
Let
do
me
to
see
get people
them.
to call in and say, show us your feet, and everyone's
Yeah.
there. What's up, pal?
What's
Ow.
up, fellas?
Ah, what up,
Back
dog?
Let me see them tootsels.
Let's
Oh.
see it. No,
No.
No,
This
I
is the hardest
cannot.
thing ever.
come on.
There they
Oh,
dang.
let's
Those are
go.
absolutely
Mighty
sick.
socks.
Those are professional, dude.
Dang, those are legit.
Oh, they wrap.
Oh my god, full print
These have a little
Spider-Man
bite.
socks. Those are high quality.
Those are high quality.
Best part, my son forced me to buy them at the store for me.
Dang.
He's like, you're getting them, Dad.
Dad, you need these.
And I was like, so seriously, I have to?
Like,
Okay,
yeah.
I guess I can do that.
if you insist. If you insist.
If you insist.
Well, now you
Yeah,
got to
I'm-
show
I'm-
them.
All socks ever.
I'm sure he really had
Love
to
it.
twist your arm on buying those. Let's be real, dude. You were getting those no matter what.
Oh, right. No, I was just looking for the excuse. I waited to have kids so I could get socks like this and so I could still go to the theater to see cartoon movies.
That's the-
Say, hey, son, don't you want these socks?
That's
Pretty
the dream,
cool, huh?
dude.
hey, look at these kids.
Am I supposed to
Love
be
it.
waiting until I have children to buy the Spider-Man memorabilia at the store? Is that
No,
the-
no, no,
okay,
no.
let's do
It just, I look creepy, so I had to have the kid.
I don't know. I got a ponytail, Hal.
Then maybe yeah.
He's
Maybe,
like,
yeah.
put the Spider-Man socks down. So
Thanks for showing us your feet, Hal.
thanks for
Have a
showing
good
us
one,
your feet.
guys.
See you later, my friend. Man, you know
Man,
what?
I didn't expect to see so many feet today.
It really is spreading joy. They're
Y'all
onto
got some
something.
nice looking feet.
Ryan and Grayson are onto something here.
Yeah.
We
My
ready for
favorite,
the
I think I told
send
this on
the-
the stream before, but my favorite Grayson story was first time Ryan and I hopped on a call. We're sitting there talking. It's like a Saturday evening or something. We're talking on like a Zoom call. And Grayson just walks into his dad's office, hits the light switch, giggles, and walks away.
Got him.
just absolute savage.
Got him.
Just put him in the dark.
Also, Michael in the chat said, important question. How old does your kid need to be for the Spider-Man movies? I don't know. You can probably watch those
Any
whenever.
age.
There's not like nudity or like
that's good.
graphic death. I think you could probably really get away with those super young as long as you told
There
them
is
like,
Tobey Maguire.
don't say Tobey Maguire at school, and then you're fine.
Just don't say Tobey Maguire and you'll be good.
You get a call the next day. Yeah, your daughter's been talking about Tobey Maguire nonstop for 3
To the rest
days.
of the kids, it's really causing a scene.
This is at Tom Holland Elementary School.
We have a no Toby policy.
Andrew Garfield, we're fine with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, we're neutral on Andrew Garfield.
I like the
Right,
idea that there's like a tiering system, like green, yellow, red, like whenever you're bad, you get put on the Tobey Maguire. Whenever you're good,
Don't be
you
a
get put on
Tobey
the Tom-
Maguire.
Everyone starts on the Andrew Garfield, and then whenever
Yeah,
you're
that's-
good, you get brought up to the Tom Holland, and when you're bad, you get sent down to the Toby.
I'm
There's
trying
three
to.
types of people in this world.
I'm just
Tobey
trying to.
Maguires, Andrew Garfields, and Tom Hollands.
I'm just trying to hover in the Garfield range. I'm not trying to do anything too crazy, Just trying to stay in the Garf zone.
The Garf Zone.
Garf zone. The Goldilocks Garf zone. You know what I'm talking
Watch
about.
out, you're in the Garf Zone.
Don't get splashed in
Get
the
your
Garf zone.
poncho.
All right, our next quote face prompt. This one is Coop's. Coop, you got to redeem yourself, man. It's 4-0. Have some self-respect.
I'm not sure if you noticed, but I'm actually part of Team Simon today. My job is to just make it as easy as possible for him to get the points. So I'm actually having kind of a great day.
Great job, Coop.
Yeah.
You're nailing it. All right, here's your next quote. I don't mind telling you that I had a high grade on Russell Wilson, but don't read anything into it. I'm just saying that because all these people putting this label on me that I only work with big QBs, don't read anything into that. Coop, who said this? What are they talking about?
Wow. Can I hear it one more time?
Yeah. I don't mind telling you that I had a high grade on Russell Wilson, but don't read anything into it. I'm just saying that because all these people putting this label on me that I only work with big QBs, don't read anything into that.
Okay, I think I got this one because there was a time where people said that this particular executive would only draft physically large quarterbacks because he was a physically large quarterback himself. So, and he used to be more involved with the player personnel. I think he was actually like the GM himself for a while, but now he's not. Now George Patton is. I think this is John Elway. John Elway himself talking about because there was talk for a while, like when you look at some of these guys like Jay Cutler and
Jay Cutler?
Drew Lock, the other guy that had like the goatee that they drafted, like he would only draft actual
Osweiler.
right. Yeah. So this is John Elway saying that he had initially had a high grade on Russell Wilson as a prospect, despite people saying that he only drafts physically large quarterbacks.
Coop, that is
Correct. It's got to be.
incorrect.
Come
On
on.
both accounts. This is not John Elway.
Wow. Felt right.
Simon, you had the opportunity to steal.
Coop, I was where you were last time, saying this was just. That just seemed too accurate. That just
So
seemed
now
too
you don't
correct
have
in
any
response.
guess. I don't know what I would guess next.
I guess I'll just go with Can you read it one more time for me, Joe? Just give it to me. Give it to me one more time.
I'll give it to you one more time. I don't mind telling you that I had a high grade on Russell Wilson, but don't read anything into that. I'm just saying that because all these people putting this label on me that I only work with big QBs. Don't read anything into that.
I was trying to explore if there was a route where this was like a player, like maybe there's a wide receiver who said, I only work with big QBs. Like I got a bad reputation that I only want to go someplace with a like big name quarterback. But I had a high grade on him really screams non-player. Like are players keeping grades on other players? I
don't think so, dude.
Maybe some of them, but like only the weirdos. Like so it's either a weirdo or a coach, probably. Could be a weirdo coach. They're not exclusive. So I'm gonna go with this is Sean Payton. Because I guess there could be that narrative around him since he left and said he would only come back for the perfect opportunity. And Russell Wilson was the perfect opportunity. He's got to hype up his new quarterback. So this is Sean Payton talking about his new quarterback in Denver, Russell Wilson.
Sean Payton talking about his new quarterback in Denver, Russell Wilson, is incorrect.
Oh, okay.
Coop.
Okay.
So is it like a rumored coach?
Would you like to take another shot at this?
Yeah, I'll take another shot at this. Let's go a different direction. Let's go with so the Panthers have the number 1 pick now after trading with the Bears, and they're going to potentially draft a quarterback. Bryce Young is a quarterback where there's been a knock on him for his size. So I'm wondering if maybe Frank Reich, he as a coach, he's coached like Carson Wentz. They brought in Carson Wentz, they brought in Matt Ryan, both large fellas. So I'm wondering maybe that's the narrative, that this is new Panthers head coach Frank Reich basically being like, hey, like I know I've mostly worked with big quarterbacks, but I had a high grade on Russell Wilson despite his size, despite him going in the 3rd round. So don't read anything into that in terms of who we're taking at 1 and why. So show me Frank Reich.
Coop going with Frank Reich, talking about drafting Bryce Young, incoming QB, and that is correct.
Yes.
Coop.
Beautiful, Coop. I did not
accounts.
see
We made
that
it.
path, and you got there.
You know what? I sent us down the wrong road, Simon, but I was able to double back.
Found it. You found it.
We found it. Nice. Well,
Coop,
and
that's
that's
2 points.
And the thing is, there was in my own mind, I was like, maybe he wouldn't say that because I don't know. Sometimes, like one of the biggest mistakes we make is that we always go, "Oh yeah, Sean Payton drafted this guy," but it's really the GM at the end of the day that is in charge of that stuff. But like Frank Reich is making it clear that he's very much involved with this decision, as he should be. But it kind of proves something that isn't always 100% true. But in this case, it sounds like Frank Reich is scouting players. Right? He had grades on Russell Wilson. Like I imagine, it sounds like he's heavily involved in the scouting process. If he remembers old grades from a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, or he's lying.
Probably that. Right? Yeah, whoever they want to take. I don't even know.
My grades on Russell Wilson were great. That's how convenient that you're never going to have to prove that.
Who is
show me your grades?
Who is the GM of the Panthers
Prove
now?
it.
Fitterer is his name or something like that.
Lapinzola.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know I know it sounds something like that. I heard it the other day.
Scott Fitterer.
Pat Fitter, yeah.
Fitterer. Great name.
What a lot of mass in that head. All of his brains.
I feel like you tried.
Disrespectful.
I feel like you tried to say that in a nice way, and it ended up
It just came out super
way
mean.
more mean. Like if you just said he had a fat head, that would actually probably been nicer.
It sounds way better than what a bunch of mass in that head. I can't think of a meaner thing for someone to say that.
You definitely could have said it in a way. I know what you tried to do, dude, and it totally backfired, dude.
Just at the opposite of that. Bunch of mass.
From one large
like-
head to another. I am sorry. That really came out incorrectly.
Feels like you just verbalized the thought.
You're allowed to say it. You're allowed to say
Did I just say that out loud?
That is a lot of mass.
That's a lot of math.
Some
man.
heft.
Smart.
All right, we
Smart
got
dude.
one more quoting the quote face prompt, and this is going to be Simon's. But if Simon misses it, Coop can come back and tie this game up for all the glory. Simon, here's your quote. Oh yeah, Darren actually reached out to me yesterday, and I was super excited when I saw his text. I think just the versatility that he brings to the game and being an all-around tight end, and being able to do it all is huge for the wideouts because when Darren is on the field, the defense better check to him. Simon, who said this? What are they talking about?
Can you give it to me one more time? Because we know the team. I just got to pinpoint who said this. I got to hear the voice.
Oh yeah, Darren actually reached out to me yesterday, and I was super excited when I saw his text. I think just the versatility that he brings to the game and being an all-around tight end and being able to do it all is huge for the wideouts because when Darren is on the field, the defense better check to him.
Part of
Could
me
be.
thinks this is a wideout for the New York Giants. So this is one of the wideouts on that team talking about his new teammate Darren Waller reaching out to him because we already saw Darren and Daniel awkwardly shake hands. You guys saw that video, right?
No.
Yo,
I love
look it up.
awkward stuff.
Complete lack of eye contact between those two men is shocking in that video. They purposefully don't look at each other the whole time.
Oh no.
Darren and Daniel. But I'm gonna say this is Richie James talking about incoming veteran tight end Darren Waller to the New York Giants.
So one more time, Simon, who is it?
Richie James talking
Richie
about
James.
incoming veteran tight end Darren Waller to the New York Giants offense and the impact he will have.
Did they re-sign Richie James?
Maybe I should have checked that. That's a great point.
Well, you can't check because that's
Nope.
cheating. Yeah, but I think he is back. They brought pretty much everybody back.
Simon, that is half correct.
The context.
The context is correct.
Yeah.
Clearly.
What's the context? The official context?
Just being excited to play with Darren Waller.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great
Real,
detective work.
Real clever prompt there.
All right, well, I'm just gonna go with the low-hanging fruit. Is this Daniel Jones talking about playing with Darren Waller?
Daniel Jones is incorrect.
Okay.
The actual answer, this was Paris Campbell,
Paris Campbell.
New York Giants wide receiver, Paris Campbell.
If we had more guesses, we would have got that, I bet.
Probably.
6 more.
There's only so many wide receivers. Sterling Shepard,
Darius Slayton is back.
Slayton.
They could have been
Bellinger.
asking
Campbell.
Isaiah Hodgins. Could have asked the old hodgepodge. Wandell Robinson. They have a bunch of wide receivers, actually. They're all just okay.
Yeah.
They're just collecting them over there. Do you think they're going to try to smush them together?
Oh,
I
that'd be
hope.
so sick, dude. I hope they
Power
pick.
Ranger.
If they are going to smush them together, then they definitely got to pick Richie James's hair.
You're
he
right.
He has the best hair, and it's not close.
I was going to say Sterling Shepard's everything from the shoulders up because that man's handsome.
Yeah, and also because there's been a lot of injuries from the waist down.
From the shoulders down, yeah.
Yeah. Well, very
Also,
cool.
Tim said definitely Guy Fieri for some reason. I'm not sure what that was in response to, but I'm
I
just
think one of
opening
the
this.
quotes.
Let me open the chat.
Guy Fieri
that
was
was Guy
hyped
Fieri.
that Darren Waller reached out to him. Just,
He texted me.
texted me already, letting me know he's excited to come to New York and can't wait to see the effect he has on the Whiteouts there and whenever he gets to town.
Welcome to Flavortown.
Is Guy Fieri a Giants fan? What
Who
team
knows?
would Guy Fieri root for?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Flavor team.
What was that one? Sam?
Yeah, I think he nailed it. I think he cheers for the Buccaneers without
He does
a
seem
doubt.
like a Bucks guy. Maybe,
Why?
Maybe
I don't know why though.
Maybe Chargers.
He's got on like a
Chargers are
like a
too cool for
silk button down, like Tampa Bay Buccaneers Hawaiian shirt with nothing underneath out of the tailgate with his visor on, flipping burgers, just screaming at everyone that walks
Cost
by.
$50,000.
Hell yeah, dude. No, I could see him with the lightning bolt, like lightning hair and all the little bolts and everything. No Chargers.
He could be Chargers. I feel like that blue's a little too soft for him.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
he's a
somebody
little
look it up.
aggressive. Tim said he dresses like a Jags fan.
He definitely dresses like a
Like he's
Jags
about
fan.
to go bowling.
It's one, Florida towns for sure.
We just keep putting Guy Fieri in Florida over and over and over again.
We cannot do that. Not Miami though.
No, I don't see him on Miami.
No.
All right. Well, guys, coming up, we got some more games coming your way. We've got a postmortem on the Baltimore Ravens season last year. We're going to play some vague descriptions, and then we're going to teach you some things we've learned in a segment we call the Moreau You Know. Right now, you're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
Talk about your picks and your fantasy teams on Bettor Sports Network.
The importance of checking out the site that you're playing on. Default rankings of these sites. A lot of times they don't get updated. I know from experience. I used to write default rankings for the NFBKC, the basketball version of the NFBC. I'd write these default rankings in June for the NBA, before the NBA draft, before free agency opened up. And guess what? I was never asked to write an update article or update the default rankings. This happens a lot. Maybe if there's something obvious, it gets updated. Aaron Judge, for some reason, hurts his back. Maybe they make that change. Just maybe. But you don't know that. And that's why it's just so important that you show up to your draft room or you do that pre-draft prep. We're all busy. We know we're about to devote a lot of time to our fantasy baseball drafts. Why not spend the extra 20 to 25 minutes to invest properly in your team, to go and see which of those players are way down default rankings? They're going to be different on all of these sites, and you're going to be looking at them and going, maybe their analysts think a certain player who shouldn't be in the top 100, who should be maybe even not even the top 200, will be in that top 100. You got to check that out. You got to know where you're playing, just like you got to know your format when you sign up for the league. It's just so crucial, and people just skip right over it. You think it's cool to show up to the draft room 3 minutes before the draft. Well, number one, it's not cool because the commissioner's trying to make sure it's organized, especially me, who runs auctions. You can't, it's one thing if someone doesn't show up for the snake draft, oh well, doesn't ruin it for everyone. Auctions, you can't have someone not show up. Auto bidding, auto auctioning, it ruins the sanctity of those drafts here, which is why I always recommend, hey, make it easy on your commissioner. Don't make them send those texts there. It's annoying. You shouldn't have to do that. Don't wait till the last minute and get in there about 20, 25 minutes before so you can just look up and down the entire default rankings list so you can make a queue out of that, Ron. And the reason I keep saying this is because people still show up 2-3 minutes before the draft, and that's it. In fact, in one of my auctions, people were asking me where certain players were, and I go, did you search their name? No, I just got in. Well, that's no excuse right there. That's your own fault. I mean, you're organized, so you're a hard person to ask here.
You're getting those questions. This is your preschool league, right? People don't know how to search player names.
People freak out. They don't think. That's the problem. Because they show up 2 minutes before the draft. That's why.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on Bettor Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. We have a Guy Fieri update from Dustin and Tommy, and confirmed on Google. Dude is a diehard Raiders fan, and I see it.
That makes sense.
Checks out, right? I think, JL, you were very close with the Buccaneers. It was just the West Coast. It was the West Coast badass Pirates instead of the East Coast corporate Pirates.
You had the right vibe, though.
No, Raiders makes complete sense.
Shout out Guy Fieri. He loves San Antonio, apparently. All sorts of rumors about Guy Fieri in this town. If you come in and just ask around about Guy Fieri, everyone's got a story. Everyone's got a rumor.
You just hear whispers at the grocery store.
There's like restaurants where they're like, Guy Fieri says he loves the space, but we believe the owner knows something about him. Like there's a place that is like infamous for getting you sick that Guy Fieri has put his name behind, that there's all sorts of rumors about like, what does the owner know about Guy Fieri? Because there's no way he says these are the best tacos in San Antonio.
Wow, I didn't realize they were full on conspiracy theories.
You know what? For the
pretty
next,
deep.
I'm going to go undercover investigative journalism, the Guy Fieri San Antonio story, and for the next conspiracy theory segment, I got you. We're going to lay it all out on the table.
People
It'll be
have
a
been
homegrown conspiracy.
People have been waiting a long time for that story to be blown wide open.
Guy Fieri's going to be like, what did I do?
Hell, dude.
Like, I'm just going to Flavortown, man. Leave me alone.
Just going to Flavortown.
Well, guys, we are about to get into a post-mortem on the Baltimore Ravens. We've been running through some NFL teams. We've talked about the Falcons. I think we talked about another team, the Arizona Cardinals as well. Now we're going to talk about the Ravens. Apparently, we're hitting on the bird teams first.
Alphabetical order.
Where's the word, dude?
Convenient that the birds are so early in the alphabet, huh?
That is interesting.
I was thinking about because like DJ Chark played for the Jaguars, then he played for Detroit, and now like there are rumors of him going to Panthers. So I've been thinking about. I got me thinking about players that only played for certain types of teams. Like Zach Ertz has only played for bird teams.
Yeah.
He's a bird kind of player. Like if you showed me a picture of Zach Ertz and said that this man spent his career on bird teams or cat teams, I am 100% confident with no context I could place bird.
Easily birds, dude.
He's a bird guy.
I'll have to look it up, see what players
like
played for the most bird teams.
We should do a game with that, with like players that we would not know what they looked like older non-superstar players that spent their careers with bird or cats. Keith, get on this. It sounds like a lot of prep work, but
We'll call it birds or cats.
I'm not even sure.
We'll call it yeah, tweet.
Let's play birds or cats, dude. It is funny that certain players, they do look like they play for certain teams. Or, you know what, certain players have names that I feel like fit with certain teams. Like Pat Fryermuth was always going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Dude,
Pat the Steeler.
Yeah. I just looked over and I have an entire monitor with freaking Scott Fitterer's big mast head staring back at me.
Every time I get off the show, I look at my other monitor. Is just nonsense over there. Nonsense.
Tommy in the chat said could be a Viking.
Could be a boat.
Could be a Viking.
Pat Fryermuth does have a Viking. Big Ben Roethlisberger also sounds like could be Viking or Steeler. They're just like gritty teams.
Well, talking about these Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson could be a Raven next year, but he absolutely was a Raven this past season. I think it was probably a little bit disappointing of a season for the Baltimore Ravens. This is a team that every year with Lamar Jackson, you're probably hoping for a Super Bowl run, but injuries and underperformance led to an early playoff exit for this team.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame. Like they didn't win during, because they say that the best time to win is during the window of your rookie contract, and they never really got that close, and now they got to pay the guy. Kind of tough situation for them.
We do often talk about the Ravens as like a well-run organization, but looking back at Lamar Jackson's rookie contract, it does seem odd that they never really looked like they loaded up for a run. Know what I mean? Like consistently great teams. They were spending up on defense, keeping the core pieces, but we're seeing these teams that make these Super Bowl runs kind of like take their shot, go grab a Christian McCaffrey, get the wide receiver for their guy, pull in the star to have a weapon. And the biggest name they signed at wide receiver, of course, they drafted Rashad Bateman. They drafted Marquise Brown. Was Sammy Watkins. Well,
I think that goes into how like the type of player Lamar is and the type of offensive coordinator that Greg Roman was. Yeah, Greg Roman was, and that he wanted to be run heavy. And Lamar Jackson made that easy because he didn't pass that much. And so why would they go out and spend a bunch on wide receivers when their quarterback isn't throwing very much? I think that was their rationale. I'm not saying it's correct or incorrect.
Yeah.
Maybe we see now it was probably incorrect. But I think what they did was they loaded up on other positions like the defense. I mean, that's been their primary focus the last couple of years.
And JL's right. Like what they wanted to do, they were the best at it, right? Like they literally set the record. No team had more rushing yards in a single season than the Ravens did a few years back, and that was during the 16-game season. They broke a record that had been standing since 1979, I believe it was. It was the New England Patriots used to have the record for most rushing by a team when they had one of the earliest mobile quarterbacks. I think it was Steve Grogan. at the time, but the Ravens,
old roadster.
yeah, the Ravens obliterated that record. So when you say that they wanted to run, they sure did. And, they were the best at it. But I guess maybe looking back, we can say that wasn't the answer. That wasn't how to do it. So shame.
And they also got a lot of this season, at least towards the end of the season, I put as a result of this contract negotiation situation. I don't know if Lamar was fully hurt to where he couldn't play. I think that he was using that as leverage in his contract negotiations, which I respect. I think he should have in that situation. But he gave them really no choice. There was no way they were going to be able to make a postseason run without him. And they assumed that they might be able to make a deal with him, reach some sort of compromise before it got to that point, and it didn't. And I think what we saw how that play out with them tagging him was like the Ravens played that situation well. They played that hand that they were dealt as best as they could, in my mind.
Now, and if you're Lamar and you are even a little bit hurt and don't have a second contract in hand, it makes sense not to want to play. Of course.
100%. 100%.
Both sides making the decisions that make sense for them. And now we're left standing here confused and watching an unfortunate situation unfold.
Yeah.
We want the best for Lamar, but that may not be what's best for the Ravens right now.
They thought Rashad Bateman would be the guy. He got injured. They traded away Marquise Brown. And so they were forced to rely on these secondary wide receivers to fill in those roles. Because by the time that happened, the season was already going.
Speak of Devin Duvernay like that.
James Prochet III.
Yeah, stars.
I have much respect for you guys.
Demarcus
Robinson.
Who's the guy they drafted from Oklahoma State? Tylan Wallace. Get him out there. Now, that is interesting. Before we move on to what the plan is this year, there's one more thing on Lamar Jackson, really, is that the assumption right now is that he's collecting. So the way it works with the tag that he's on, and same thing with restricted free agents, is that he can entertain offers and eventually sign one. And if the Ravens then have a chance to match it, or they can let him walk and get 2 first-round picks. So the assumption right now is that he's received offers that are higher than the $32 million per year, which would make a lot of sense because, Daniel Jones and these guys are getting $40 million. And then eventually, once he's talked to every single person, hammered out every single potential deal, he's going to sign one, and then we're going to get a decision. Do you guys think that those offers are coming in, or maybe teams aren't willing to give up 2 first-round picks? Like, do you think it's a matter of just like deciding which offer to sign, or are teams really not sending those offers? Where do you guys think it stands right now? It's kind of hard for us to know. I mean, we couldn't possibly know, but what's your feeling on that?
I think we might not see action on this for a little bit. Is there a time frame when these offers have to come in by? Like, is it pre-NFL draft? Is it the end of free agency? Because if teams are able to wait until post-NFL draft, that might make sense with it. Maybe a team like the Colts is wondering if Anthony Richardson's going to get to them, right? Like, we're looking at multiple quarterback needy teams that could be attempting to find their answer in the draft if things fall the right way, but could be open to moving to Lamar Jackson in that position. Now, assuming they need to use this year's first-round pick, that could happen during the draft, right?
Yeah, so it sounds like there's no limit on how long he has. I think.
Well, I think you don't have 2 first-round picks this year.
Then you're ineligible.
Oh no, not for
this year. It doesn't have to be this year.
They have to be.
Just
you have
2
to have
first rounds
over the next 2 years. Yeah, so they already
in the next 2 years. So this year or next year.
You have to have 2 over the next 2 years. I think you can have 2 in the same year, but you have to have 2 total. So there was a list that was published, and it's not very long, that of teams that don't have that aren't in the running. The Broncos are out. The Dolphins are out. The Rams are out. Yeah. So, but when you go, I went through the list, and there was nobody on the list where I was like, oh no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there were already teams that essentially traded those picks for a quarterback. So we'll see. I mean, it's basically on March 15th, he was allowed, when the league year started, so last Wednesday, he was allowed to start negotiating. It hasn't even been it feels like it's been forever with all the news dropping, but it hasn't even been a full week yet since the league started. So I imagine he's probably going to take maybe a little longer than a week to decide on which one of these to sign.
I mean, I'm just going through the teams of like QB, like real QB needy teams, according to the Draft Network. And a lot of these teams have made moves for their quarterback position. Carolina Panthers, They have the first overall pick. They're likely going to go quarterback. The next team is the Texans. So they might be able to. Do they have two first round picks, or are
they got an early pick, so they're expected to go quarterback in the draft as well.
So it's likely they will probably wait and see. And then the Colts are the next one. Could be interesting. I think they're probably in the conversation. I don't remember where their draft pick is though.
4.
Okay,
yeah,
so similar type of thing. All these guys might go QB, and then Vikings. They got Kirk, Saints.
There have been
Giants.
rumors surrounding the Vikings as a dark horse candidate for Lamar Jackson here. Multiple sources coming out like, don't be surprised if you hear rumors of the Vikings making moves or seeing if this is something they can make happen.
It makes a lot of sense because we already know that he looks good in purple.
I was going to say he looks great in purple.
There'd be
the only other teams
easy transition.
The only other teams on this list are the Giants, who re-signed Daniel Jones, the Seahawks, who re-signed Geno Smith, and then Baker Mayfield. Tampa Bay Bucks, who signed Baker Mayfield.
Oh no, Baker.
So I think Simon, I think your thought process here is right. We'll probably see other teams start to get on this as we get closer to the season. If the end after the draft, after that plays out, and some teams don't get who they want.
I'll tell you what, somebody's got to step in and force the Ravens to pay him more money than they're paying him. We can't let JL. Can't let you get away.
I don't know why you're saying sorry. I also don't think the Ravens lowballed Lamar Jackson. So I do see that argument a lot of like, just pay the guy. And it's like, right. I get that. Like I'm on that side still, while also recognizing, guys, this is a big risk.
I think Coop's more saying.
Oh no, I'm more saying from the standpoint of like,
standpoint.
Yeah,
like
someone's got to step in, not like get away with it as in like they're doing something wrong. As in, like,
you're saying someone might come in and swoop in and do it. Yeah.
We can't. No, what I'm saying is we can't let the Ravens get away with just paying him $32 million this year. We can't let them just like get away with like tagging him and then nobody steps in.
You definitely shouldn't.
Yeah, like somebody's got to step in and offer. Even if you step in and offer something, you know the Ravens are going to sign. Like the Steelers step in and they're like, "We're going to offer him $35 million." And the Ravens are like, "Oh my god, okay, fine." Like, what
are they going to do? Not pay an extra $3 million so that he ends up with the Steelers on their division rival?
Yeah, somebody's got to step in and make them pay like an extra.
They take 2 firsts for that.
I mean, then
I guess
I mean, then he's the quarterback of your division rival. That's even worse, right? So yeah, you can't allow it. So somebody's got to step in.
I don't think he would accept that in that situation. Probably.
The chaos.
Because he has to sign the contract in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, money's money. That's the thing about money.
But not enough money is not enough money.
Time is money, but money is money.
Money is also money.
Yeah.
Guaranteed money is not guaranteed money, though.
Yeah, it's true. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody do it now.
Somebody do it. I wanted to talk a bit about the running back position here in Baltimore because it was a bit of a mess last year. They had Kenyon Drake taking carries, J.K. Dobbins until he was injured, Gus Edwards whenever he wasn't injured, Justice Hill out there taking carries. Mike Davis took a couple carries, and apparently at some point, Andy Isabella was on this team and had 1 carry as well.
Naturally.
Entirely missed that. Jill, were you aware Andy Isabella was on the Ravens and had 1 carry?
I had no idea.
No idea, right?
I knew he was signed to like some weird contract because I had to do that article on them. That's the only reason. And what you guys are doing right now is something that I just did like a week ago. I was like, Andy Isabella's on the Ravens. So mine just happened. Mine just happened a week ago because I
saw that last night and I was like, what? Yeah, no targets, no receptions, 2 games played in, 1 rushing attempt for 1 yard.
We talked to
Justice Hill.
We talked to Brandon Huffman about that briefly when we had him on, which is like Andy Isabella feels exactly like that pick that teams make when they're trying to be too conservative, where you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, if we take DK Metcalf here, because this is the same draft, I'm fairly confident. They're like, if we take DK Metcalf here, if he flames out, he's only going to be a split end. If he flames out, he doesn't do anything else. He's literally just going to be useless, like N'Keal Harry. But if we take Andy Isabella here, worst case situation, he's a punt returner. So we at least get something. We're not going to completely blow the pick. But in reality, if you draft a guy in the 2nd round and he ends up being just a punt returner, then everyone looks at it as you blew that pick. So it's kind of like and we know teams do that because the Dolphins told us that's why they drafted Jalen Waddle instead of Jerry Jeudy. They just were straight up like, it was so close. This guy plays special teams. And I was like, oh, interesting. But I'd rather be the guy that misses trying to get a DK Metcalf and maybe get a DK Metcalf than end up with a punt
30
return.
Andy Isabellas.
Yeah, like which is what they have.
Can you
right?
imagine?
1 DK Metcalf or 30 Andy Isabellas.
I'm taking the Metcalf in that fight.
30 is a lot.
30 is a lot. How many Andy Isabella? I actually, you know what? I might even just take 2 Andy Isabellas versus 1 DK Metcalf.
Okay, 1 DK Metcalf sized Andy Isabella or 10 Andy Isabella sized DK Metcalfs.
I'm taking the Metcalfs, bro. Those things they're yoked. They're too strong. Even the little ones would be strong. Basically, like an Andy Isabella sized DK Metcalf.
DK.
Isn't that what Rondell Moore is? Like I've seen that guy squat like 500 pounds, right? Chew. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we sorted that.
We figured that out. Hal said Lions offer him $35 million a year for 10 years, guaranteed.
No.
Now we got to talk about. So now with the Ravens moving forward, they bring in Todd Monken, and everybody knows that he's an air raid coach. The quotes from the Monk is coming in.
Everybody knows it.
Everybody knows it. We have the best wide receivers. We have the best coordinators. That was my Donald Trump. What'd you think?
Pretty good. No way.
Thought it was Daffy Duck.
People are saying it. I'm not saying it. People are saying the air raid coming to town. So the air raid is coming to town. Todd Monken himself said, "My background is in quarterbacks. My background is in wide receivers. I enjoy throwing the football." That's a direct quote from Todd Monken. But the Ravens thus far haven't really done much in terms of bringing in wide receivers. In fact, I would go as far as to say they've done nothing. So what do you think they do moving forward? Do you think they target some of these remaining free agents, which are getting increasingly thin? Or do you think the draft is where they're going to have to try and bring something in, because they really got to do something to run? You can't run this offense without more wide receivers.
Like Hal said, Nelson Aguilar is there to save the day now.
Hooray.
Why are we worried?
Did they sign him?
I don't know, but if they did, it's the most Ravens thing ever.
It'd be perfect, dude. The Ravens, like, not only do they feel like a team that doesn't make those moves, but they've in the history of the
visiting the.
Yeah, there you go, visiting, dude. In the history,
I'm gonna go stand at M&T Bank and just box out Nelson Aguilar. You can't come in.
No.
Nope, not allowed in.
Nope. In the history
Just
of the
kidding. I'd be like, "What's up, Nelson? Tell me Bill's secrets."
In the history of the compensatory pick, which you get for letting guys leave and not signing anybody, the Ravens not only have the most, but they've gotten 10 more than any other team. They are the team that lets the most guys leave while signing the fewest incoming free agents. We have that documented. So maybe not surprising that they're only trying to sign like Nelson Aguilar, but they got to do something.
Who's left? Who's the premier wide receiver left? Who's still sitting around out there?
JL's favorite, bro. DJ Charknado.
God, I hope that happens so I could buy a Shark jersey.
That'd be sick, dude. You have to do quick heel turn, be the biggest Shark fan. I mean, they could bring in, there are some names that are kind of intriguing. I mean, they could bring in Kenny Galladay. They could bring in Chosen Anderson.
They could trade for DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh my God, please.
That would be wild.
Please.
He was a good Ravens.
Sammy's still on the team. Please.
No, Sammy's a free agent.
Please.
Just recreate the Clemson wide receiver room over there.
I get
Mike Williams.
I get a split Ravens jersey, half Hopkins, half Watkins.
Half
just says Hopkins.
half
just says Hopkins.
You'd have to go the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to get Watkins instead, JL. You'd have to do that.
Still say Watkins. It's the same thing. Guys. It would still say Watkins.
Coop says, "Oh, you'd have to do it the other way."
Yeah, there's no way to do it.
Just Watt Hop.
Yeah.
It just says Hopkins.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh my God. No, this is a split jersey.
Nuke might punch you in the stomach if he saw you in that jersey. I think that's why he still says Daniel High School instead of Clemson whenever he introduces himself before the games, because
He goes to Clemson games.
Sammy
sometimes.
was kind of the star when they were on the field together. You know what I mean? And I think D-Hop even knew then that they were like he was star level. Like maybe he deserved a little bit more of that attention.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe they'll sign.
Are they not cool?
No, I'm sure.
I don't think he has any ill will towards Sammy, but I do know for a
Yeah.
while he distanced himself from the Clemson program a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was due to unrelated reasons, but yeah, I've seen him at games. I think he's still okay with Clemson.
Maybe they'll sign Martavis Bryant.
Man,
Shout out Martavis. Hope he's doing well.
there was some flashes at his time in the league where you just watched where he came back very first game. It was like boom, touchdown. Welcome to the league, Martavis.
When he was with the Steelers, man, there were some moments for sure.
For sure. What are the Ravens doing here at the running back position? Is there any value to be had for fantasy next year? Is it J.K. Dobbins? Is he the guy? Is he the one that we should be drafting?
Yeah, but Gus Edwards is so good. Like Gus Edwards is so underrated. He really is, man. Like how they have him doing
that. You're right.
They have him doing all the short yardage work, and he still is 240 pounds, yet his career yards per carry is over 5. How is he's just a force. He really is.
Gus. Yeah.
The other one that doesn't make a whole lot of sense is that like Justice Hill has been with them doing virtually nothing. And then they decided to extend him to do what?
He does special team stuff, and he does random, like, I don't know, 2 years ago he had a run for like -4 yards, and that was the entire stat line for the season. Just like stupid like that.
Try something else.
I don't know what they're doing with Justice Hill. My only thought is that it's a specialty. Like he's just a good player that he's flexible. Like you can put him into special teams, you could throw him into the offense if you need.
I don't know. If I was Justice Hill, I would try a change of scenery, but that's just me. But I guess they offered $1 million.
Yeah,
Which is
try the practice squad over here on the Chargers or something.
If I was,
just switch
can
it
I
up,
interest you in worst job over here?
Yeah, just to get a change. Of scenery.
Worst job, better city.
I mean, it is
better job, worse city.
It is kind of a nice place to live. Well, actually, they're not even in San Diego. They're in Los Angeles.
San Diego.
He
goes to San Diego trying to start with them. Where's everybody? Saying Baltimore's not nice, Scoop.
Oh, it's amazing. I go down to the Horseshoe Casino and.
Oh, why would you pick the Horseshoe?
Because I was thinking, like, what's the worst part? Like, what's the worst part of Baltimore?
I've never been inside the Horseshoe Casino.
Go hang out at the warehouse behind Camden Yards.
You know all the hot spots then.
The hot spot.
Those are our 2 spots.
If I was in Baltimore and I was actually going to go to a spot that I've had fun at, I would go to that bar. What's that pickle bar that's right near Camden?
Pickles.
Pickles is dope. That's
it's like the Camden Yards bar.
Yeah, that's where I would be.
It's a shithole though.
I know.
It's just like
that's my vibe,
tradition bar or whatever. Like it's a total shithole.
Bro, we went there and we were like drinking before the game. Then we went back there because the bartender was cool. We were drinking after the game, and then we were like, "Is there anywhere you can buy beers at this time of night?" And he was like, "I'll give you some." Like what? He just like loaded us up with a 6-pack and was like, "Here you go." I was like, all right. Nice. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Pickles is dope.
Honestly, the best bar is a shithole bar. Like it doesn't matter how nice and fancy you make it. You're not going to beat the perfect shithole.
Exactly.
Pickles on opening day. It is a spot.
Circus.
It is wild.
It was circus when we were there. Yeah.
Maria has a story. She went to opening day a few years back and she was yelling at Governor Hogan. She's like, "Why do you hate teachers?" And he like went to listen to her and then just walked away.
Just in at Pickles, Coop's walking out with a 6-pack in each hand as Maria's standing behind him screaming, "Why do you hate teachers?"
Drunk yelling at the
I distinctly remember that. Yeah, and that's every game somebody yells at the governor. Yeah.
Well, guys,
great spot.
Coming up, we are going to play some vague descriptions and then impart some knowledge on you in a segment we call the Moreau You Know. Right now, you're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
Monday Night Rants with Edward Rouse on Bettor Sports Network.
Do you believe in the Madden curse? Do you think that's a real thing?
I did. Now, I don't think it's as big of a deal anymore, but it was a real thing for a solid 10, 15 years.
Yeah, it was Sean Alexander, LaDainian Tomlinson, Peyton Hillis.
LT was never on the cover. I know that.
Was he not? I thought he was one. Okay, well, you do know all the covers of everything.
Yeah, okay. So if you want, I could do this real quick. So Garrison Hurst is the first official Madden cover athlete, 1999. 2000, I believe they still put John Madden on the cover. And then 2001 is where it all started. So 2001, you have Eddie George. 2002, Dante Culpepper. 2003, Marshall Falk. 04, Michael Vick. 05, Ray Lewis, first defensive player on the cover.
Okay.
06, Donovan McNabb. 07, Sean Alexander.
Okay.
08, Vince Young. 09, Brett Favre.
Okay.
10 is a trick one because it's
no way you know.
And Larry Fitzgerald. 11, Drew Brees. 12, Peyton Hillis. 13, Calvin Johnson, I believe so.
You're right.
14.
No way you know.
14, also a trick question. I believe that's the Madden 25 cover, and it's Barry Sanders, unless you got it for the new consoles, in which case Adrian Peterson
Oh my God.
was on the cover.
You're not cheating. You're not looking at.
Swear on my life. Swear on my life.
Okay, keep on going.
15, you have Richard Sherman.
Okay.
16, hold on. 16 is Odell Beckham.
Okay.
16. 17, now this is the one I get mixed up because 17 and 18 are back-to-back Patriots.
They are.
17, I think, is Gronk, and 18 is Brady.
You are correct.
19 is Antonio Brown.
Correct.
20, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh my goodness.
21, Lamar Jackson. 22, Brady Mahomes. 23, John Madden. Yeah, dude, I'm a cover nerd when it comes to this stuff.
We now know, but that was really impressive. I don't know how.
Thank you.
That's literally 29 of them or something like that. Wow, that is. You did not miss a single one, and you even got the special editions where they had 2 people on the covers.
Monday Night Rants on Bettor Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. We got Nick in the chat. Hey, saying loves him some vague descriptions. Glad to have you in here, Nick. And just in time, my friend, because we're about to get into some vague descriptions. The game where the contestants are going to be given a vague description of something in the category that it's in. The category may be movie, and the vague description could be, I'm not going to come up with one, but vaguely describing Forrest Gump. And then, Coop, you would say Forrest Gump, and you'd get the point. Pretty cool how it works. Whoever has the most points correctly identifies the most vague descriptions is going to be our champion today.
Forrest Gump, moron does everything in history.
I've heard that the book is like a lot more depressing and dark than the movie is. Like if you've read the book, that it's like Forrest isn't like a good to his heart character, and that there's a lot more like
oh no,
just like the book is difficult to read from what I've read.
I don't like that. I also heard there's a second book that's even crazier.
Really?
Yeah.
Gump 2?
I heard there's a Forrest Gump
Electric
2
Boogaloo?
that is just like wild. Like it's just out of control.
Dang.
Yeah. Great movie though.
All right, guys. You ready to get in some vague descriptions?
Let's do it. And a reminder to everybody watching, play along in the chat. Coop and I are going to have the chats closed so you can
I don't like
gladly.
I always miss the chat when I have to minimize them.
Me too.
Bye, Nick. Goodbye, Dustin. Bye, Hal.
Who went first on the last one? Was it Coop or Simon?
I went
Coop
first
because I remember him going, yes!
I was very excited. I lost. Oh!
Yeah, I lost. All right. So, Simon, you are going first on this one.
Let's do it.
And score. Just adding our scoreboard here. All right, Simon, your first prompt. What do you got, Simon?
Just gonna say sometimes these work and sometimes these don't. Sometimes my brain works and sometimes it just doesn't for vague descriptions, and I never know till I hear the first one what kind of day it's going to be. So I'm nervous.
Right when you
Yeah.
said vague descriptions, I was like, all right, let's pour some coffee on this.
Okay, guys, I bought a coffee maker like 2 weeks ago, and I can't figure out how to work it. I'm ready to just throw the thing in the garbage.
Is it? Have you tried going like this?
Yeah, I tried that twice.
Sometimes it's 3 claps.
I didn't try the 3 claps.
Yeah.
It's just always the grounds end up in the coffee pot. And I've read the instruction book like 6 times. I can't figure it out. I don't know what to do.
I actually been meaning to talk to you about coffee. Might have to do this off air unless we want to just make this a little coffee segment. But I want to know what grinder you use because I know you grind your beans at home. I need to get one.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, let's talk.
Although if that's the problem, I might be tricking you. Who
I
knows?
grind my beans in public.
You know what really grinds my beans?
All
let's
right,
do
guys.
let's do the other
Simon,
game instead of the coffee thing.
Simon, you are going first on this one. Your category is movie. Your vague description is a teenage girl becomes extremely upset when a few of her friends leave without saying goodbye.
A teenage girl becomes extremely upset when a few of her friends leave without saying goodbye. I'm guessing this is a horror movie where her friends get murdered. But I'm not too versed on like my movies. I'm just going to be guessing a classic horror film, I think, and hoping teenage girl. I'm trying to think like, is this Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Oh, that was my first thought too.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is incorrect.
Damn it.
You have the opportunity to steal.
They leave without saying goodbye. Now all I can think about is murder. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Simon's route on this one and guess a classic horror movie while I think of other ones. Is this Scream?
That was my other guess.
Yes.
Scream is correct.
Damn it! I was right there. I was
You
going to say
were
one
right
of two
there,
movies, and I flipped to Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the last second.
That's interesting that we both thought of those two as the first two. What was the third horror movie that comes to mind for you?
Halloween, but I don't know if that would have the
Yeah.
teenage girl part. Even Scream, I thought that was hard. I think
was kinda
Scream
hard.
is a movie that out of all of the horror movies I remember more than the other ones.
Me too.
I don't know that I would have gotten this one.
Next in line for me would have been I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Maybe Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ooh. I don't know if that's a really teenage girl one though.
I don't really
I
remember
haven't seen any of these. I haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Scream. So even more interesting that those are the first two movies I thought of.
That is interesting.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, both of them, makes you feel really uncomfortable. That's a
It's a
uncomfortable
horror
thought.
movie, isn't that the point?
But that one particularly is very I don't know what it is about those ones. The whole idea of it is that it makes you feel very bleak. Like there's no escape. There's no hope in the world. Like those movies are rough. Those are rough.
We talked about Strangers the other day. Man, I've been thinking a lot about that movie.
That one got me.
That
whenever
one's
I saw that
freaky.
in middle school or high
Yeah.
school, or whenever I saw that for the first time, it messed with me. It sat with me for a little while. The whole
Yeah.
premise of there was no premise. You were home like that. That just got me. Like the
Scream got me. Strangers got me.
Here's a new segment we're doing where we just talk about how scary movies made us feel. Scared
It's a pretty good segment.
at times.
Got me.
Got me.
It got
Got
me.
me or
Some
not?
of them got me,
Got me or didn't get me.
and I've been thinking a lot about them.
Get
Got-
me or
got-
did you
or did-
not?
got.
Got
The
me or
segment.
didn't got me. Ooh, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of any scary movies didn't got me. Jeepers Creepers is a little difficult to believe.
Friday the 13th.
That one didn't got you.
The remake didn't got me.
Yeah. All right, good.
All right. Coop, you got a point for that one. You stole Simon's point right out from under him. And this next prompt is yours. Your category is movie. Your vague description is a questionably sane psychiatrist takes on a patient with a vision problem.
Questionably sane psychiatrist takes on a patient with a vision problem.
And Hal did say, he said Scream 6. I'll give it to you, Hal. Well done. Nick in the chat said Hunger Games.
There were some pretty tense moments. All right.
That's actually pretty good. I think that fits into that.
Did
into
it
that
got
other one.
you? Did it got you or it didn't got you, Nick?
It got me.
All right. So questionably sane psychiatrist takes on a patient with a vision problem. I have to guess the first thing that came to my mind. I can't stop thinking of anything else. I think in this case, the vision problem might refer to a patient that sees dead people. So I'm gonna go with The Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense. Oh no, it's broken. It's correct.
Yeah. All right, dude.
There you go.
That movie got me.
Did it?
That one got me, I'd say. Yeah, I don't want to spoil. I have no spoilers, right? No spoilers in the chat, but
that is past the statute of limitations. How would it like? If you genuinely don't know the twist to The Sixth Sense,
yeah, I'm sorry.
just kudos, like
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Teach me how do you disconnect in the way that you do?
All right.
Teach me your ways.
But I'll say it.
Papa.
In The Sixth Sense, Snape kills Dumbledore. All right.
You just ruined a child's life. Like
You
this
think?
is the
Oh,
moment they
yeah.
look back on like
If you haven't read The Half-Blood Prince, I can't.
I feel like that one is still kind of not okay to spoil though. Like spoiling kids' movies is not okay, right?
I think what you're
Love
gonna
that
do
you
is
asked.
you're gonna piss off a bunch of millennial parents who are now like, oh, I can't wait for my kid to discover the world of Harry Potter. I gotta do it." And then here comes Coop on the radio, just like spoiling the whole.
By the way,
Just radio. You do.
absolutely no reason for me to do that. All right, cool. On the next one.
Do you want to spoil the next?
No.
The next book in the series.
No, this is good. This is a good segment.
Oh my god.
All right, Coop. I'm sorry, Simon. We're back to you. It's 2-0.
The segment where we just talk about coffee is looking better and better, honestly. compared to what is this has turned into.
Al in the chat and Tommy and Ernie Dog with 6 cents. They got that one quick.
Put those. My chat's closed, but Al, get those strong arms up for getting it right.
Strong arm, Al. Oh, watch it, Al. You might knock something over with those. Might hurt somebody with those.
Careful now, dude. Careful now, my
Dustin
buddy.
saying M. Night has been living off that twist ever since. The rest of his quote twists have been letdowns.
Yeah.
Tell him to his face, Dustin.
I liked the movie, the other movie that he had with Bruce Willis. I thought that was very good. Unbreakable. Did you guys ever see that one?
Never seen it.
Go out and watch that.
Kimmy Schmidt.
Go out and watch
Kimmy
that.
Schmidt. Kimmy Schmidt.
Go out and watch Kimmy Schmidt too.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Is that what we're talking
Unbreakable
about?
Kimmy Schmidt.
Also, honestly, that I've seen a little bit of that show. It's pretty funny. So
it's a pretty great show.
Shout out Unbreakable. Shout out Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Shout out. Yeah, shout out that. All right, our next one. Simon, we're back to you. Your category is, your vague description is, a wealthy man haunted by his childhood starts a mass fight club and uses an arsenal of gadgets to ensure that he always wins.
Say that one more time.
A wealthy man haunted by his childhood starts a mass fight club and uses an arsenal of gadgets to ensure that he always wins.
Arsenal of gadgets.
An arsenal of gadgets to ensure he always wins. Starts a mass fight club. Could the Avengers be seen as a mass fight club? Because they are fighting evil in the world. That's a rich man who uses lots of gadgets and fights people in Iron Man. But I'm not I can't remember his childhood. I'm gonna go with the Avengers. I'm gonna go with the first Avengers movie here and say that the rich man is Tony Stark.
The Avengers, Tony Stark, is incorrect. Coop, would you like to steal?
Can I hear the childhood part first again?
A wealthy man haunted by his childhood starts a masked fight club and uses an arsenal of gadgets to ensure that he always wins.
Did you say mass fight club or masked fight club?
Masked.
Oh.
Okay. I thought you said mass fight club. I was still thinking about Federer.
Well, okay.
It's a mass fight.
All right. That in this
What,
case,
bunch of big mass heads just fighting each other.
Exactly, just bonking them around.
in this case, I'm gonna say the thing is
Koopa mass head.
there's a Federer. Are we making fun of Federer again? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I was thinking about the actual game. I apologize.
Well, the answer to this prompt is Scott Federer.
The movie. I'm sure he had a great childhood. So in this case, I think the wealthy guy would be Bruce Wayne, and the masked version would be Batman. But there are a lot of Batman movies, so I'm just going to say Batman. Is it Batman?
Batman is correct.
Yeah, I'm on fire. I'm on fire, dude. I'm on fire.
You
today,
are
dude.
just freaking.
The trick
hitting
was for Simon to mishear it twice and then guess and then actually
then
ask,
ask.
because I misheard it twice as well until Simon cleared it up for me. So Simon, you get the assist on that one.
What were you hearing? Mass?
A
MASS?
mass.
Like a lot of people are fighting.
I heard
mass
mass
fight
too.
club.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of people, and I was like, that sounds actually pretty dope.
Mass Fight Club.
I was like, is this Hunger Games?
You could consider the meeting at the end of Endgame as a mass fight club.
Yes.
I love that fight scene.
Oh, it's so much
It's
fun to
so
watch.
fun. It's just a good time. It's like it's the party equivalent of a fight scene.
And
Like,
some people were like, "There's too much fan service. Like they're trying to like appease to the." I'm like, yeah, I just watched like 30 freaking movies to get to this one. They better try to make me happy in this scene. Like give me a shot of every single hero I've met. Like
I want a grand finale, like a fireworks grand finale.
Right.
And the last
like,
and I get like people came at me on Twitter whenever I posted that fight scene is one of the best in my mind in cinematic history. And people were like, oh, but Lord of the Rings.
Right.
But Lord of the Rings, the fight scenes in Lord of the Rings are so much better. I get it.
Shut up.
But it's different.
Right. It's totally different.
Yeah, sure. If you're just like I don't know, like a big sadist, you want to just go watch a bunch of fighting in Lord of the Rings. It's cool. I like Lord of the Rings. It's excellent. The fight scenes are fantastic. It's different. I get something entirely different out of it.
Too much fan service. They made a movie. They made the movie that the fans like too much.
What is fan service mean?
Why did they make this
different context? But it's basically something put in there like that does not advance the plot. That is just to like get a positive reaction towards the fan. So it can be used in like a sexual
throwback
sense of like
callback.
They just put in like too much skin in a movie to give fan service, but it can also be used in like a nostalgia or like a shot of Captain America that was unnecessary or like
with the like is like the implication that there's nothing like the plot's just airy and there's nothing to they're just using that as like a crutch.
Exactly.
They don't want they don't want you like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's pointing at the TV. Like they don't want you to be able to do that. They want you to have to like sit down and think about it. Like not every movie is going to be Donnie Darko, you losers.
I don't know what point you were making or who you were addressing.
Yeah,
but I back you up on it 100%. Losers.
That message I want it on a T-shirt. Not every movie is going to be Donnie Darko. Losers.
Yeah, that message was directly to the people.
Picture of Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire punching the rabbit.
He's not even in that movie. It's Jake Gyllenhaal, but it's a picture of Tobey.
It's just like a front action shot of Tobey Maguire. Like up the
Get those shirts made, Keith. We're gonna need those.
Wearing a bunny outfit or something.
And I want to send them to everybody on Reddit that like doesn't go on the movie subreddit. They go on like r/cinema instead or some other like pretentious, some pretentious film subreddit I don't even know about. Like that's who I was talking to.
r/cinephile.
Darko losers.
Toby Darko.
All right.
Well, let's see. Coop, that was not yours. That was Simon's. You're stealing everything. I'm 3-0. You scooped up every point.
I'm going
and this next one is yours to scoop up another one.
Let's go.
The category is football. Your vague description is served with your eggs.
Served with your eggs. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing this has got to be maybe the name of a play. That's oh wait, is this when when an offensive lineman blocks another offensive lineman onto the ground? They call that a pancake block. Is this a pancake block?
Pancake block is incorrect. Great guess though.
Really great guess, because I was hoping maybe it took you a little longer to find something you wanted to say.
So you could think longer.
Yeah, served with your eggs. I'm just running through like, okay, milk, bacon,
Bacon Mayfield.
served with your eggs.
Why are you so good? Why are you so good?
Is that it? I'm so good at not getting them, but tangentially getting them.
Bacon Mayfield.
Is this
Dumbest shit I ever heard.
That's not gonna help Simon at all. Just throw a Bacon Mayfield in there while he's trying to think.
Yeah, all I can think of is Bacon Mayfield now.
It's
Baker Mayfield, but his arms have been replaced with giant floppy slices.
At home with Mayfield.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this is what's always served with your eggs. Toast.
Toast.
Show me toast.
Is incorrect.
Damn it.
Coop, would you like redemption?
You know, like someone's toast when you run past them.
The old football term, toast.
Is this
Served with your eggs.
he just got this will be recent news. He just got signed to the Raiders. Is this OJ Howard?
OJ Howard is incorrect.
Oh, come on.
Lord, that's so good.
We're right there. There's got I'm sure whatever it is, we're gonna be like, oh, okay. Serve with your eggs.
Simon's gonna be like, brick.
The Coop says we're right there, and my last answer was toast. It was just another breakfast.
Literally
item.
running circles around you, Simon.
And Coop's like, how many NFL related breakfast puns and or jokes can I make in the next 4 seconds?
He's like doing trick shots and then rebounding his own shots. And Simon's just standing there.
Yeah, Harlem Globetrotters. I'm like, this is fun, isn't it? And you're like the generals
45 times in a row.
You're like the local firefighter that has to try and cover it.
I'm laser beaming free throws at the backboard.
You're gonna get it right here, though. You're gonna get it right here.
Served with your eggs.
Yeah, Hal asked, what's the prompt? The prompt is served with your eggs. Category is football.
We've already guessed toast, pancake block, and OJ Howard. It better not be OJ Simpson or something like that.
Other things that are often served with your eggs. Maybe this is a side dish instead. Maybe this is Antonio hash browns.
Hash mark.
Oh shoot, I think I'm right there, but I just said Antonio hash browns, so that's my answer.
Is this Antonio?
Your answer is Antonio Hash Brown?
Yeah.
Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that. You're like, your answer is Antonio Hash.
Sure?
Well, I already said it, and then as I said it, I think the answer is something like.
I just didn't think you were serious. I thought you were just like talking to your thoughts.
I was just trying to.
Antonio Hash Brown. How could that be a real guess?
I don't know. Your answer is Antonio Hash Brown. Like if he responds to you like that, Simon, you have to say no. You have to say no.
I'm gonna go with hash.
Hash is correct.
Oh my god! Yeah, there you
go. Antonio Hash Brown. What's the matter with you?
I liked it, Simon. I thought it was great.
You're like, yeah, I said it. I guess I gotta follow the rules. Like you're just imposing your own rules.
Antonio Hash Brown. Yeah, hash is right. It fits.
Hash, yeah, man.
The hash flinging. The hash flinging.
Dave said a guess so bad that JL refused the effort.
That's your answer.
I was too much into this show to let you
guess
Antonio Hash Brown.
Antonio Hash Brown.
How dare you?
Oh, how dare you!
We were lost.
You got there though. You know, it's this in this particular occasion. It wasn't about the journey. It was about the destination.
Hal said hash is a dish with eggs in it. There you
Not
go.
Not always.
There you go. Not a dish eggs are served with. Take it up
Is
with producer
wait,
Keith.
Are there eggs in hash?
Chief Keith. I don't know. I'm vegetarian. I don't eat it. Either of those things.
Cool. Do we have any more of these? Do we have to do more of these, or could we be done?
We are. You win 3-1.
Let's go. We ended on Antonio Hash Brown.
Wait, so you're telling me Antonio Hash Brown didn't get me the win? That the person
No,
who
it's
answered
true.
Antonio Hash Brown was not the winner of this game?
I know,
Truly
it's
baffled and
shocking.
shocked.
Yeah, that's like catching the golden snitch. You just automatically win.
He said Bacon Mayfield.
Bacon Mayfield and Antonio
Bacon
Hash
Mayfield,
Brown.
OJ Howard, Toast, and Antonio Hash Brown. Guess the question.
Yeah. That one was
Served
too
with
vague.
eggs.
That one was so vague. There were a lot of good answers. That's all.
There were a bunch of good answers. And Hal said, not that I'm bitter after saying that hash is a dish with eggs in it, not a dish eggs are served
No,
with.
not at all.
Yeah. Fair.
Well, guys, coming up, we've got some Moreau that we're going to be shoving into your ear holes, throwing some facts your way that we have learned somewhat recently, or maybe not so recently, but we're surfacing them in the present. You're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
Front Yard Fantasy with Simon, JL, and Coop.
Sell me on doing away with the 2-conference system in the NFL.
Is it really a sale whenever this is something that's commonly agreed upon? I'm selling you on water being wet. I'm selling you on something that is objectively true right here. We look at teams at the end of the season and we go, how the hell does one team have such an easy schedule while another team is just absolutely getting obliterated? And that's because of the 2-conference system, because the division system feeds into this conference system. It's a symptom of the greater problem. Like these divisional matchups, you're telling me it's fair that the Buccaneers are in the playoffs after playing the Panthers twice, the Falcons twice, and the Saints twice this year? That is unbelievable. There are multiple more deserving teams every single year that because of this system where we silo them into random groups, it determines the order. And yes, originally this was geography based, right? We had these divisions, they were geography. It's 2023, my dudes. Geography doesn't matter whenever it comes to the size of the United States. These teams can travel anywhere. They don't need to geographically locate them in divisions or conferences to make the games make more sense. If USC can be in the Big Ten, why the hell can't Miami play San Francisco every year? It can happen. They've got more money than these colleges and they're not taking classes. All it does is create an ecosystem where less talented teams can get rewarded for playing in weaker divisions and more talented teams are punished for continuing to improve.
Damn, bro.
Drop the mic.
I like to picture some geography teacher out there just threw a pen on the ground. He was like, how dare you? He smacked the globe. He was like,
what do you all the hard work we've done?
2023 geography doesn't matter, right? Smacks his
You know
globe.
how long it took for us to get respect?
Globe goes spinning around, right? Geography doesn't matter. How dare
I'm
you?
just imagining they ripped on the world map and underneath is Algebra 2. Like they just go straight into being a math teacher.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray. Weekdays at noon Eastern, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Paper straws. Oh, they're so bad. Ray, I mean, I'm almost tempted to say screw Mother Earth. Give me a real straw. The paper straw thing is a step too far in saving the planet for me.
It's a great idea. The problem is it has to last. Like, it can't go mushy halfway through my drink.
That's
And
the
I think
problem.
That's the problem. They have a hard time standing up if you don't drink that.
100%. That's my issue, Ray. I'm all for taking care of the only planet we got. But, Ray, some people like to drive a lot. I don't. I don't get on them for they have to drive 20 minutes to work every day. Can I just get a plastic straw? Like, I think, Ray, we should be able to pay for a card that says, I don't drive every day, so they said I could have this kind of environmental impact by getting a plastic straw. I am in favor, Ray, of government-issued plastic straws if I have the proof that I'm worthy of such. If you want it, you get it. It's kind of like the Clear Pass. You know,
Yeah,
at the
there you go.
airport.
Okay.
Like, Ray, I'd be willing to pay an extra $2 a year, and I get as many plastic straws as I want when I go out to the restaurant.
And the $2 goes toward cleaning the oceans or something. So,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. That's not a terrible idea. Not terrible.
Call, chat, enter contests in real time. It's Sports Talk 3.0 with Bettor Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. We're about to get into a segment we call the Moreau You Know. Impart some knowledge on you that we have learned over the past couple weeks, or at least since the last time we've done this. Maybe something that we found out. Also, I see Dustin in the chat saying there were a bunch of answers. There was one good answer. He didn't like the rest of our answers over there.
Yeah, the good answer was Bacon Mayfield.
Was a good one.
Also, out there, everybody, we are still celebrating World Down Syndrome Day in honor of our buddy Ryan McDowell's son Grayson. So call in, show us your feet, show us your socks,
Show us your feet.
show us your fancy socks, your crazy socks in honor of World Down Syndrome Day 2023.
Express some joy with those feet. Get those fun socks on. And everybody, tonight it's the World Baseball Classic on Bettorcast. So starting at 7 Eastern time, you can watch the WBC Championship game and compete in our real-time Q&A contest right here on the Bettor Sports Network app. There's going to be real prizes by answering predictive questions in real time, and the chat's down there. So you want to hang out with the BSN community. It's right there tonight during the WBC Championship game on Bettorcast. Or you guys ready to get into some Moreau, you know?
Yeah.
Do it.
You who wants to go first today? Not me. Not I, said I. I went first. Another time.
I go first. Dude, I can go first. So this weekend, I'm like with my buddies, and I forget how it even came up, but somebody was like I'd rather be in I'd rather be in Iraq than Chicago. It's more dangerous. So then like the conversation got into what are the most dangerous places in the world, and we were like arguing or whatever. And then my buddy was like, I know the answer to this. And then we were like, what is it? He goes, Somalia. I was like, Somalia? Like, I guess. Like, and he goes, go to the US travel advisory page for Somalia and see what it says about Somalia. So we did. We pulled it up, and my goodness, you shouldn't go to Somalia. Here's what the US official, so this is travel.state.gov, the official US travel advisory page for Somalia. They have 4 levels of travel advisory. And these are for like if it's bad, like if you're just a normal place and they don't have any advisory. Level 1, exercise normal precautions. 2, exercise increased caution. 3, reconsider travel. And then there's category 4, where Somalia falls under do not travel. And it has little helpful things where it lists the reasons why you shouldn't travel there. Just little quick labels: crime, terrorism, civil unrest, health, kidnappings, and then other, which there's a lot of other there. But this is I'll give you some snippets from this page. It says, do not travel to Somalia due to crime, terrorism, civil unrest, health, blah, blah, blah. Violent crime, such as kidnapping and murder, is common throughout Somalia, including Puntland and Somaliland region. Illegal roadblocks are widespread. Some schools and other facilities act as cultural rehabilitation centers and are operating throughout Somalia with inadequate or non-existent licensing and oversight. Terrorists continue plot, kidnapping, bombings, other attacks, right? So we're going through this whole thing, and we get to the bottom where it gives you some advice on if you do have to travel to Somalia, and it is wild. It makes you like, this is like normally when you get advice to travel to like Germany, I was like looking this up, and it's like, make sure you get beers early because the beer places close at 6. Like that's usual travel advice. The advice for Somalia is if you're traveling to Mogadishu, draft a will and designate appropriate insurance beneficiaries and power of attorney before leaving. Be sure to appoint one family member to serve as a point of contact with hostage takers, media, and U.S. host government agencies. Establish a proof of life protocol with your loved ones. Like that's what they say before you travel to Somalia. Draft a will. That's the travel advice for Mogadishu. So that's my Moreau, for today. According to the travel advisory from the U.S. government, don't go to Mogadishu.
Tommy says, let's go. Next contest on halfway win a trip.
Win a trip to Somalia.
Next, and Hal saying pirates and Goop. I was reading a little bit about this the other day. It's that's terrifying, but there are people that just live there, right? Like it's like people that are living surrounded by that. And one of the sad things there is a lot of the NGOs and other groups that generally are able to provide some relief or something in these areas
NGO
to differing non-government organization, right? So a third-party organization that can come in are then targeted by some of the groups here, and it's due to extreme poverty and situations outside of the control of a lot of these people. But it's not where you want to be. And Hal said it: pirates, Somalia, known for the modern-day pirate industry, is headquartered there.
Honestly, though, if you look at the map, it kind of is a perfect spot to be a pirate, right? Like it is right, like it's right at the entrance of both the Red Sea and like the Persian Gulf is right there. Like, yeah, like if you're gonna be a pirate, that's kind of the place. Dude.
Geographically, it makes sense. You're saying?
Geographically, I mean, it's just
geographic advantage.
like if you look at the maps, it's like Portugal be a pretty good place to be a pirate. Like, you know what I mean? Like right at the entrance of the Mediterranean Sea. Like there are some spots that are better for pirates than others. Like it's kind of tough to be a pirate in like Kansas, you know?
Yeah.
Pretty hard to be a bouncer if you're in the bathroom.
That's true, dude. I mean, it's easy if you can get away with it and not have to bounce anybody.
Sometimes like in Oklahoma, whaling is illegal. They've got a law on the books, no whaling.
Yeah.
Just in case you were going to try to kill a whale in Oklahoma.
Just in case a whale found its
that's-
way.
Now that's an easy job, dude. Just sitting with your feet up on the desk at the whaling department of Oklahoma.
Whaling enforcement.
They check in on you. They're like, "Hey, Hal, how are things going?
Any cases? Nope.
Yeah.
I've 100% success rate so far. Not a single whale has been killed since I've been hired.
Had one lead, turned out just to be a big lady.
Yeah, just know that we remain vigilant.
It was just Federer's head. Turns out he was a mistake.
Okay, now you've gone well past. When you first said it, you were like, "I'm not trying to be mean or anything."
Now it's cyberbullying.
Now you're actively trying to be mean.
Or Federer.
What's his name? I don't even remember who we're talking about.
Scott Federer. He's the GM for the Panthers. It seems like
Scott Zucchini Federer.
Yeah, well, he's got a pretty good job. I'm sure he's all right with me making fun of his massive head.
I don't know if this one's going to come across his desk.
Absolutely. We were talking about Oklahoma and Wales, and Somalia was how this
that's
started.
What it was. Yeah, we were talking about pirates. It was full pirate talk. But yeah,
That's interesting. The rate is of people not living, I guess, or coming back or getting kidnapped.
I bet it's got to be pretty high. I mean, like,
I want to see some data.
Yeah, they don't put the data up here, but they are very clear that you shouldn't go there. Like, I mean, like when you go through and it's like if you do decide to travel to Somalia, draft a will. That's exactly where I'm like, all right, they're taking this pretty seriously.
Yeah,
Will Levis.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm
in.
Jail's going to Somalia. He's in.
Do it.
I'm in. I just got to draft a will. I could do that. Plenty of wills.
That's only one. Oh, draft. All right.
Easy.
Right. I pick up what you're putting down.
You got to get the job first. Or
Will Levis. Boom.
I'm in
Somalia.
We just set up a draft here on the show on Friday. We can draft a will. Each of us. There's enough wills in the NFL. I'll draft Will Fuller. I'll take Will Fuller.
What's Will
draft
Fuller
a will,
doing?
You can draft away.
I was thinking of Will Fuller just yesterday. I was talking about the play. I should. I'll reach out.
Message him. Hey man, just thinking of you.
Well, I was thinking about the Players Tribune and how good Calvin Ridley's Players Tribune article was, where he kind of just talks about his whole side of what happened with the gambling thing and everything. And
love that word, by the way. Tribune.
It's solid.
Excellent.
It's thick. And I was thinking to myself, like, what players would I want to write a Players Tribune article just so we know what's going on with them from their side, like what they're doing now. Will Fuller was one of the names that I thought of. I'd love to hear Kenny Galladay write up his side of kind of what happened there and, you know, what his plans are, right? Because you don't really get that side of things unless they come out and tell us. Who are some other ones that, like, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to write one because he can just go on Pat McAfee and say whatever he wants, but like, who else would you want to hear from?
Will Fuller was a great one. I don't know. That is a great question. There's players where you just kind of wonder what
Elijah Moore.
Yeah, that would be a good one too. What are you thinking, dude? Like, you know, because like usually we just get like a snippet, like a tweet here and there. Like I'd rather like a nice full article. Like, hey, here's what's going on, man. Here's my side of the story.
Right. Josh Rosen. I want to hear a little bit. What a unique and difficult position that must have been. You know what I mean? Whatever you think about him, I don't know if you like him, don't like him, but
I'm sure he's easy to get in contact with.
That probably hurt though. Know what I mean? Like that was probably rough. I'd love to hear what that experience was like.
Yeah. Josh Rosen, he was a guy that when he first came out, like in the draft, he was like, hey, you know what? Like I have other options. Football's not everything. And people didn't like hearing that. But I mean, the guy, he's a smart guy. You know what I mean? Went to school at UCLA, got a degree. Like outside of football, he's probably going to do good things.
We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, John Luke, you wanna share a Moreau with us?
Sure, I can share mine next. The story I want to tell you guys today is one of a man named Eli Herring, who is a offensive tackle for BYU. This is another NFL draft story. So he was drafted in 1995 and projected to go somewhere between the first or third rounds. But Herring informed teams that he did not intend to play in the NFL because Sunday is a holy day. And it's a not football playing day, according to Mormons, for devout Mormons. And so he said, I'm not going to play in the NFL. But most teams passed on him, except one team. Can you guys guess which team that was?
Let's see. What's closest to Utah?
The Raiders.
It was the Raiders.
I went the other way.
Absolutely was the Raiders. Simon, you nailed it.
How'd that work out for him?
Well, they decided, hey, let's see if we can get this guy to do it. I think the reasoning in this article by Jeff Maron says that their $500,000 a year has a certain, quote, gift from God quality about it too. But Herring did not take the bait. He turned them down, so they just wasted their 6th round pick. The Raiders got dragged for this one, including a bunch of headlines which you may or may not find funny, including the one in this article, which is Raiders go fishing again for Herring.
That is wild, dude.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? Sometimes beliefs can be bigger than that. It is interesting though, because you see it throughout sports. Like James Reimer the other day, he's a hockey player, said he wouldn't wear the Pride Night uniforms because of his religion. But I watched him give up 3 goals to the Bruins on Sunday, so he's not worried about playing on the Sabbath, right?
Yeah, a lot of talk.
Yeah, a lot of talk, dude.
Picking and choosing, buddy.
Right, exactly. Yeah, picking your scriptures there.
But this guy said, "I'm not playing." He said, "I'm not doing it." It is funny that the Raiders, the quote, or if one team has the reputation of being the bad boys of the NFL, it's the Raiders. And
I was thinking the dinguses. I was thinking just the straight up John Gruden dinguses. The fact that this guy said he's not going to play. That's a total Alex Leatherhead moment.
Whoops. Yeah, that is wild.
What year was
this is 95. This is pre-Gruden.
It's only like 10. It's only like 10 years ago.
Yeah, lives to that.
In my mind,
stank though.
Yeah, that's crazy though. That he still. I mean, it's not crazy, but it makes sense. He had no problem playing in college on Saturdays.
Yeah, get that free education too.
Yeah. He went to BYU. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sounds about right.
How down here? So got to call your handy. You got to call your handy.
Oh, that handy. Dude.
You got to call your handy.
Yeah, he would not be tempted by the dangers of the Raiders.
Nice
segue.
I have a story that I can throw in here after that delicious hiccup. Reminds us of a story and more something that I heard about the other day that I had never heard of before. Have you guys heard of the Barkley Marathons?
No.
So the Barkley Marathons is this crazy ultra marathon that takes place in the mountains of Tennessee. And it's known for being one of the most insanely difficult races in the world. So I was reading a little bit more about it. And I just want to read to you how they describe this race. So the race consists of 5 laps of 20 miles apiece. The laps change each time. They're non-consistent and have difficult to mark measures. This takes place in a race where you're going to have over 60,000 feet of elevation gain throughout the race from beginning to end, which is
60,000 feet.
Yeah, you're going to go back down, but the elevation gain, the total amount of feet that you're running up throughout the course of this race, 60,000, that's 2 Mount Everests.
Yeah, that's what I was
that you're running up while you're doing this race. So 20 miles a lap, 5 laps, 60,000 feet of elevation gain.
I was maybe I may go up and down.
Because you're coming back down. You come back down as well, but just the ups is 60,000 feet of that. Now, the start time for this race occurred sometime between midnight and noon. but you're never told
What
exactly
days?
when it starts. The guy who starts it has a conch shell that he will come out and blow, which means the race is going to start in
Where is
1 hour.
everybody?
In near close enough to hear the conch shell, or at least one person is, and they start
They'll
spreading
come
the
out of
word.
the woods.
You're in like a tent, dude.
Truly, you're like in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, in the mountains. He's got this loop set up. And then once the hour is up, you line up at this yellow gate on his campground within Frozen Head State Park. And when Cantrell, the guy who runs the race, when he lights his cigarette, that means that the race has begun and you have exactly 60 hours to finish. It is a hard cutoff. Any more than 60 hours, it will not count.
Dude,
and it's when he lights his cigarette that the race starts.
This has definitely got some serious hipster vibes, dude. This is like the, you know, those like CrossFit hardos. This is like the final boss.
Oh, 100%. This is like you got to suffer for this one.
Now, mixed with like the world's most dangerous game.
Yeah. Now, can just anyone get in, or do you have to like qualify? Or I imagine there's some sort of
there's a sign up process, and every year also it's a big deal who they have, is because very few people actually finish this race. Like there is a small list of people who have successfully done it, and every year they have like a sacrificial first runner,
Rondale Moore,
someone who will not finish the race for sure, and they make a big deal of like hiding who it's going to be, and they're the first one to take off, and they're considered the human sacrifice for the marathons.
Wow.
But in order to finish, it's 5 loops. The first 2 are in the same direction. The second 2 are in the opposite direction. And then it's either one or the other on the final loop. And then if there's more than one person by the time that 5th loop comes around, you're required to go the opposite direction of the person that went before you, so that you cannot follow them or continue going down their path. So like if there are 3 people heading into loop 5, they've already done 80 miles. They're heading into mile 81. First person cuts right. Second person has to go the other direction on this last 20-mile loop.
Give me like, take everything you've just said, but add in dirt bikes or like ATVs, and I'm in. Like that sounds awesome.
Yeah, dude, that sounds.
I ain't running that far.
The running sounds terrible. 100 miles, dude.
100 miles.
80 miles. I am not finding any amusement in freaking these little game mechanics on your trail that you've come up with.
Wait, now wait a second. The guy who invented it doesn't even do it. He just sits there smoking butts.
Yeah, he just rips cigs the whole time.
Marlboro Reds.
That is awesome, dude. What a beast.
To get
bro.
in, you gotta smoke like 2 cartons and film yourself.
Yeah, he's like, all right, go get him.
Tim said, JL, take out the running part and I'm in.
Yeah. I feel like that's a totally normal take.
So how they confirm that you finished the loop though is there are little stations set up around it that have a book at it, and you're given a bib, and your bib number is the page of the book that you have to rip out to bring back with you. So to prove that you did the lap, you have to, like, if you've got 74 on here, you got to make it to the different stations along the route, rip out page 74 from every book and bring it back with you whenever you finish your loop.
Crazy.
That's wild. Can you take other people's pages?
I guess you could go take other people's pages.
You run 80 miles and freaking somebody took your page.
I got the Wikipedia up, and like every other line is a gem, dude. Listen to this. When a runner drops out of the race, a bugler then plays taps as they return back to the start point. So they keep a bugler there to go. Burr, 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 and just humiliate you as you don't finish the race. Bro, this Cantrell guy is a legend, dude. The cigarette.
Dude, how did he start this?
Dustin said this is some Kim Jong-un style race. Yeah, this does have just like dictator
But
making people do whatever he wants type vibe.
Mixed with that like Rob Riggle game show vibes.
Like holy moly.
Holy moly mixed with North Korea.
This is the holy moly ultra marathon. This is the wipeout edition of the ultra marathon.
Oh
This
my
is
god.
wild. Like it's just silly enough that like I'm so fascinated by what the hell this guy was thinking.
Yeah. Now what happens if nobody finishes? Then they're like nobody wins this year?
Then no one finishes it. Only 17 individuals have ever finished it in less than 60 hours.
Dude, Barkley died in 2019. It was named after his longtime neighbor and running companion, Barry Barkley. Barry Barkley.
Rest in peace,
owner
Barry,
of the
dude.
Bimsdale Bimabones. It was first run in 1986. 19 at age 70.
But his buddy Cantrell's keeping it running for him, ripping cigs at the finish line.
Ripping cigs. Does he like
What a
blow
legend.
smoke in the face of these people that just ran 60 miles or whatever?
This dude, yeah. I'm looking at this picture of Cantrell. He doesn't look like he runs very much.
Nah, absolutely
That
not.
sounds like my type of dude though. Start a race that you do not run.
Yeah.
You just get all his people come out and run.
Yeah, he's like, you got this.
Also, their fun run is 3 of the laps in 40 hours. So if you can just run 60 miles in
Do you
40
sleep?
hours, then it's a fun run.
Is there a sleeping
You
component?
sleep until he blows his conch shell, dude.
They play, every time you start to fall asleep, they play taps on the bugle.
Oh yeah,
again.
60 hours. So no, yeah, you probably can't take time to. I wonder if it would work. If it would help you to sleep for a bit.
Well, so
This
I think
sounds like Hunger Games.
since you have 12 hours to finish each lap, I think how they have it structured is there's like a start time for each lap at the 12-hour mark. So if you finish lap 1 in 10 hours, you have 2 hours where you could rest, take a nap if you needed to, or something along those lines.
I like that.
I believe is how they do it. Also, Dustin said this is the type of race that was designed on 3 guys on some sort of morning show during a pitch meeting segment.
And then we just smoke butts.
This is
That's what
the
they do in
here's the
Here's the
pitch
Pitch.
segment come to life.
And then we'll have a guy there with a trumpet just to play annoying songs.
This is our Sloppy Joe car wash, human car wash restaurant come to life.
Whoa, don't knock that Sloppy Joe idea.
Yo, this race is quite popular, Coop. This is not knocking that Sloppy Joe idea. This is saying it could be something.
I'm saying the Sloppy Joe idea was pretty hot among certain segments of our audience.
Maybe-
I pulled it after the fact, and people were in.
Maybe we contact Cantrell, see if we can get the first iteration of our Sloppy Joe human car wash restaurant set up outside the end of this race next year.
Ooh,
I
that's a
feel
good
like
idea.
if there was a guy that would be into that, this is our guy.
We gotta go next year and just like interview people, be part of the festivities, like just I want to
Tailgate?
be there when the conch shell blows at like 2 a.m. Know what I mean?
Does
Like,
does he rip his cig right before the blowing into the conch shell and the smoke coming out?
there's just there's cigs in the conch shell. So
He's just pulling.
Yeah.
I wonder if people do tailgate.
Oh, I'm sure. But it's probably just normal food because they're about to run 60 miles.
These people look miserable. No, but I'm saying like not. I'm not. I'm looking at pictures. Not everybody there. There's probably some people there just kind of hanging out. No.
Yeah. Well, Tim said now they're dumb from running this brutal race and stupid for destroying books.
Yeah.
Yeah, they thought of everything here. Destroying
Yeah.
books.
Tim, famous defender of books. Tim Wright.
Yeah. Crusader, 4 books.
The most anti-book person involved with the show.
He's like the Lorax, but for after the trees have already been chopped down and turned into books.
Yeah. He hasn't read them, but he'll defend their integrity.
Do not rip the pages out of the books Tim's not going to read.
Right.
That'll be the last thing you do. Well, guys, that is going to be it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow with some more Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show goodness. Until then, though, stick around here on BSN Moose and Keith coming up next. Then we've got Lunch Money presented by Fantasy Guru. And tonight, remember to check out the Bettor Cast. Play along in the live trivia for prizes while the WBC Championship game is going on. Until tomorrow morning, though, we are out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday. Adios, everyone.
Antonio Hash Brown.
OJ Howard.
Toast.